Yo, 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 as Robin Juggle Guy would say. And we're here for another edition of the Commentator's Curse. It seems like we're reaching a cadence of approximately once every 2 weeks. Got the legend, the man who has disappeared from social media, Crimson Blair. People are wondering.
I don't tweet for a week and I've disappeared from social media.
Dude, a week is insane.
I guess it's insane. But I'm on the top of everyone's mind.
Exactly.
So
I see what you're doing, though. You're lowering the supply of blur on the net so that you get people to demand you more.
the demand's always going to be high.
Well, it's like
we're not supply constrained. Let me tell you that.
So how's it been? Have you been watching Melee? Have you been going out with your lady? Doing secret Twitch?
Yeah, a little bit of that, a little bit of each, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'd say, I've actually had a very productive day, Topicans, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
Pretty proud of myself. Had like 7 straight calls, got some emails, about to have the commentator's curse. Gonna see my family tonight, just a little bit of everything, being a good son. So, pretty good, I'd say. And you know what? The world of Smash Brothers, very exciting place. It just keeps getting juicier. And I'm pretty excited about it. We had a cool event last weekend in CEO Dreamland. There was also HF Land and Fight Pit. We'll talk about those on the show. Those are the major events that happened. But I also want to spend some time and talk about larger community issues and other topics that come up. Of course, remember, guys, there is a Q&A section at the end of the show, and that is usually the best section. That's where you can interact with us and ask us whatever you want. And it's pretty dope.
What do you want to cover first?
I guess we could do the recaps, right? Because, that's what people want to hear.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we want to start off with?
Let's talk about Dreamland.
Should we save that for last? That's like I feel like that was the marquee event.
Okay, we can talk about HF Land. HF Land's bracket's actually pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, let's see.
Chu took another game off Armada.
Yeah, that's more than Mango this year.
Did you see the game? Oh, God. What? You did that to your own man like that? Did you just do that to your own freaking man like that? Hey.
It's more like, it's elevating Chu more than lowering Mango.
No, that was lowering Mango, dude. Yeah. You could have done that another way. You can't get out of this that easily. But I will say, I respect that. Because you know what? It's not just that you're doing your man like that. He's doing it to you, Tafo.
We're in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's go on and talk about the bracket.
Chudat, eternally relevant.
Yeah.
That could be his tag. Dude, this bracket is actually hella interesting. Actually, my boy McKenzie is playing again. If you guys don't know who McKenzie is, he's a pretty good Marth. Used to be arguably the best Marth in Europe, and he actually made it pretty far in winners. Looking at this guy's still got it. He lost to Over Triforce and Armada, so lots of very good players, but he still made it really far. I think that's he made it as far as Chillin' Dude. So,
what's happened to Chillin' Dude in Europe?
Why is Chillin' in Europe?
I guess he went with Chu.
Why is Chu? All right, never mind. Look, I'm just a little confused. That's all. Good for them. It's pretty hype, right? So good on them. But this bracket made all the more interesting by the results. Amsa beats Ghetto. The rivalry continues. He beat him in winners at least. And, Amsa made a little run. And then your boy Triff. Triff was actually the guy who ended up getting 3rd place. And he beat Amsa. Amsa's still struggling with that Peach matchup in PAL. It's a tough one. And Triff losing to Chu. Because Chu's a god. And then Game 1. If you haven't watched Game 1 of Grand Finals yet with Chu and Armada, my man 3-stocks Armada with Ice Climbers, and he forward air spikes him. I just gave you a massive spoiler, but it's still going to be just as cool when you watch it yourself. Because Chudat is crazy.
Chudat is crazy. Daniel Rodriguez.
He then proceeded to lose the set terribly, but like the game one was fire. If the whole set was game one, we'd already be anointing him best in the world.
He'd be up there. He wouldn't be the best in the world.
Chad is correcting me. Apparently, it was a 2 stock and not a 3 stock, and they don't understand.
JV.
I think I actually, in my mind, it was a 3 stock. Matter of fact, in my mind, it was a 4 stock. You do that to Armada with Ice Climbers, that's a 4 stock. That's a 4 stock.
Yeah, it's Ice Climbers versus Peach, man.
Yeah, it's a 4 stock.
And you got a spike. That's like worth half a stock.
Yeah, exactly. And you do with Sopo?
Yeah.
No.
You know you know who impressed me this event? I got to watch the VODs after the fact. Amsa, I thought like he was gonna like kind of be a little bit shaky, but even though he got 3-0'd by Armada, those games were a lot closer than they've been traditionally. And the fact that he also beat Prof, like I think he had a really good tournament for his standards.
I disagree with you. I don't think it's a really good tournament when you lose to Triff if you're Amsa.
Dude, it's hard to. He beat Zaghetto and Prof though, and
he beat Zaghetto, Prof, Chillin' Dude, and Adam. Dude, the wins were good, but I don't think losing to like my man could have gotten a third, right? He wasn't gonna be Chu, but he would have gone third, right?
I don't know.
If he finished at third, I'd agree with you, but he didn't finish at third.
It's PAL. It's a little bit tougher to win Sheik, Peach, and PAL.
Oh, I agree with you. It is quite a bit tougher, but still, man. Like, Amsa is still fighting for top 5 in Europe, right? That's like the theory. If he is, then he's got to be
like probably like 6th to 8th right now.
What's your Europe ranking? Give me the list.
We have Armada, Leffen, Ice. Prof's been kind of slipping yet, but I'll still give it to him. Prof, Triff, and then that ambiguous tier of like Amsa, Zaghetto.
It's Amsa 6, right? Like I think that's just widely thought. So I'm saying is that if that is your thought, then he shouldn't be. He should be trying to get better and beat Triff.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think Triff Amsa is like. I don't think it's like consensus that Triff is better than Amsa or anything like that. So.
I don't know. I don't know if a single person that would put Amsa over Triff on a ranking right now.
Someone in the chat, please tell me that you think that you would put Amsa over Triff, because Amsa believers have to represent at least.
I mean, I love Amsa, but it would be really hard for me to put Amsa over Triff.
Dang, my boy Gerbo in the chat doesn't even put Prof in his top 5?
Interesting.
Whoa. Turkey represents and says, I'd agree with anything Blur says. So, Tafo, pretty sure I got you there.
I guess you win, man.
Anywho, that was HF LAN. Crazy bracket. I got to watch a lot of the matches still. But they look pretty cool. Adam once again proven, with another top 8 finish that he is as good as we all say. Android over Triforce. Those have been going back and forth for a while. Android only gets 7th. Lose to Over. Again, return to McKenzie. Few other names to note are like Frenzy. Again, another older player. Baxon lost to Adam. As did Frenzy. Chillin. I don't think this is a good performance for Chillin.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I don't even know if I evaluate Chillin on his melee play anymore. I prefer to judge him by his rap.
That's fair.
And then Maya plays Fox now, and he did as well as Chillin. Maya sold the soul. If you guys didn't know, Maya dope Marth, and just an average Fox. And I guess we're gonna watch that from now on. But
how much does that break your heart? That everyone in Europe.
I'm not over it, dude. I'm so not over it. Because he's my dude. I love Maya. He's cool.
So now that Reaper doesn't play and Maya plays Fox, who's the best Marth main now in Europe?
Beat, but he's not really active, right? Isn't that the answer?
Oh God, come on,
Europe. Pal Marth is. There's some cool stuff you can do, but I get it in a way, but no, man. Come on, man. Maya.
This is your plea.
Oh my!
Come on, make your spiel.
I don't want to make my spiel because when they convert, they convert. You can never take them out of the dark side. Once you go Fox, there's no saving you.
No. Blur, I didn't think you were going to be that defeated. Then
That's
again,
what happens, man.
So Triff and wow, Europe, your 4 best players play 3.5 boxes and a peach. Good stuff to them. All right, let's go to Fight Pit.
Let's talk Fight Pit.
All this everybody switching to Fox is depressing me in Europe.
It doesn't make sense. He's not even that good in PAL. It literally doesn't make sense. My man's got to back air people at 160. Come on, dude.
So
what is with Junebug? Went far in Fight Pit. Should we even talk about Fight Pit?
Junebug's good. I think he goes under the radar, and if he traveled more, he'd definitely be a top 100 player.
This is a 250-man event, and Junebug got second.
Robotic Fish got to winner's quarters.
Robotic Fish did not get to winner's quarters. You're lying to me.
No, he did.
Is his tag Liberace?
Oh no. I'm mixing it up based on. No, he did. Did he?
Wait, where is he?
No, it's in round 2 pools. Never mind. Ha ha ha. It was the round before winner's quarter, so technically a round of 16.
Right, Tafo. All I'm saying is, Junebug got second.
Yeah, he beat 4%. That's a decent win.
That's a good win. He beat Dreffen too, and he beat Hat. These are all good wins. And he took games off KJH. He took 2 games.
Yeah, Junebug's good. He apparently
plays Falco.
When I was talking to the MDVA folks at CO Dreamland, they told me that he beats Smash God semi-regularly.
No way. Well, I guess Junebug's got some talent.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a Falco secondary because on the Smash GG page it says Sheik/Falco. I only know him for a Sheik. I've never seen his Falco.
Yeah, he's good.
Right.
I would say like if he actually went to events, he'd be like 80 to 90 on the SSBM rank.
Tafo, you forget who's at 80-90. Who is at 80-90? They're probably hella good.
Like Ty? Ish?
Yeah, he's not gonna be better than Ty. Give Ty some credit. Ty's had a great year.
I think I don't know. I buy Junebug stock right now.
Right.
Only if he got to travel.
Right.
A bit more.
Well, he got second. So he got second. So we're just gonna confirmation bias that he beat 4%. So he must be a god.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, we can go to the main event, CO Dreamland.
All right. CO Dreamland. The big story. We could just say it right now. Well, I guess there's 2 big stories.
Let's start with doubles.
All right. Let's start with doubles.
Yeah.
Oh, let's backtrack a little bit. Melee doubles and PFAT won, and it wasn't. I think like going into this event because PFAT was in a little bit of a slump. Like normally with this kind of field, I think most of us would say PFAT clear favorites, right?
I was a little bit scared of the Plup X bracket though,
and justifiably so. That went to Game 5, and so I don't think like people were like pegging them as clearly winning the tournament. Like I think maybe like if this tournament ran like 6 months ago, like I think everyone would be like PFAT easy, right? Like this is for free for them, not free, but clear favorites. But they actually they won through winner's side. Mewtwo King H-Box didn't give them that hard of a time. 6-1 PFAT. It was really clean, and it looked like they actually frustrated the Mewtwo King H-Box team. I don't know about you, but I thought Mewtwo King looked visibly frustrated, and even resorted to Fox near the end there.
I think Hungerbox, like between sets, he actually tore Mewtwo King apart, like in their conversation.
Did he? What did he say? You were there.
Like from what I heard, I wasn't physically there for that portion of it, but apparently like Hungerbox was really angry. We're like not really angry, but he was like really mad and let Mewtwo King know.
What was he mad about it?
Well, I mean, like I think the prime example is like if between the winner set of CEO Dreamland and Yahoo Rivalries, like you kind of looked at Mewtwo King and he was just in his own island where like Hungrybox was getting 1v2'd and like there's no trade happening where Mewtwo King could add damage, and so I think Hungrybox was just getting really frustrated by that.
But sometimes it's frustrating too with Mewtwo King.
Like
when he's not doing anything.
Like if you watch the grand finals last time of Smash Rivalries, like Mango and Lucky literally had a field day on like wrecking Hungrybox. There were like many moments where Hungrybox was literally between two foxes, and they were just hitting a shield and waiting for him to roll or jump, and they were just killing him.
Yeah,
it was really depressing.
And I think that's the hard part, right? Like we've talked about why we think HBox Mewtwo King is not a good team for either of them in the past. And just to reiterate the point for the people at home, the styles just don't make sense. Puff doesn't need a hard support. Like, when Puff is put as the aggressive player, she doesn't need to be saved. She gets hit once, and then she's good. You know, like, it's not like Mewtwo King's needle support game and all this other stuff has value when you're a Puff main, right? Like, it does nothing. It does nothing for you.
Yeah.
Right? So what ends up happening is that, you know, Puff, which is a character which can't actually take that many hits, right? Can't get comboed, but dies pretty early. Just gets hit a few times in a 2v1, and then all of a sudden he's dead. Right? Like, it's super frustrating for HBox to play, I'm sure. And on the other side, Mewtwo King, his best talent is being a support. That's what he wants to do. But it's frustrating for him because his aggro player can't play into that, right? Like, there's very little setups into his gimps and edge guards and team combos that Mewtwo King likes to go for on the Puff side, right? HBox kind of does his own thing.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. They've tried it for so long now, and at this point we all know it's not. It's not that it's a bad team, because obviously those two players are so individually talented that it's going to still do well.
Yeah.
It's just it's not as good as they could be because they're HBox and Mewtwo King.
Yeah, I mean they just good player everybody. I mean they still got third. They beat MacD Drug Fox. Like they had a pretty clean run into grand finals, but like they just good player everybody. And when you have a real team with like really good synergy, like I don't know how often they're gonna beat them, although they won last week. Interesting note, even though we have Fuse coming around the corner, Mewtwo King and Plup, I believe, are teaming next week for DreamHack Austin.
That's a big deal. I think, like, depending on the results of that could be a real team. Like, that could be a very scary team. The big question, though, is what character does Plup even go?
He goes Fox.
He goes Fox, I think, which, on the whole, maybe his third or fourth best character, right? Like, so, in teams, his Fox is even better. Like, his Fox in singles is probably his third or fourth best character. But in teams, it goes up a little bit because he's
number
just good with Fox in teams. It's probably his second best character, right? So you gotta think about it that way. But I like his Fox and teams. It's good.
And I just think from a character standpoint, Fox and Sheik are just so much better than Sheik Puff. Like I think Fox Sheik is one of the best teams.
Fox Sheik is amazing, but at the same time, like, and I think Swifter in chat says, I don't like teams when Plup doesn't go Sheik Samus in teams. There's just some Sheik Samus as a combo, like as characters. There's some amazing team comps that could really utilize Plup as a player if he went one of those two other characters, right?
Yeah. On certain stages like Stadium, they can flex pick double Fox, and Mewtwo King does double Fox pretty well as long as his partner plays the aggressor.
I don't think they can go. I you know me with Mewtwo King Fox. I think it's even in doubles. I don't know, man.
I mean, if he has to play the aggressor Fox, then that's not good for him. But when he plays supportive, like, remember the old Hacks Mewtwo King team?
Yeah, it was all right.
He can play supportive Fox, and he can play Stadium pretty well. So I like that pick. They can also play Sheik Samus on Dreamland if they want.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that great either, though.
It's okay.
Maybe. It's okay. It's okay.
It can exploit certain people and certain players.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I personally, again, like it's an interesting team. It's probably not the best use of either of their talents, right? Like I wonder if, as weird as it is to say, I really like what was going on with Pluff West. Did you? Don't you agree?
They have like a really good dynamic because they're really fast characters. They play really fast, and I feel like Plup is one of the few people that can pay attention to what Wes wants and
And
accommodate
keep
him.
up. He keeps up. He's one of the only people in the world I've ever seen keep up.
Yeah,
Like he's watching everything and keeping up mechanically, right, to what West wants to do. And that's pretty big. Now, I mean, Muji King is a better teams player than West Walls by a long shot. So you got to keep that in mind.
yeah.
So
But
we'll see.
with Mutaking, you're double. Mutaking kind of like Mutaking based teams are double downing on the partner to like do well.
Yeah, like if Plup Fox has an off day, which it will often, right? Like this is his fourth best character in singles, right? He's not putting as much time into this character as his others.
Is it his fourth best?
Third or fourth,
Yeah, okay.
whatever, right? Right. With that in mind, like, is this going to breed inconsistency in that team, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's that potential risk, but they also have the power of friendship. Like they play together all the time.
Hmm.
So I think they're going to develop synergy. I actually like it. And then, so doubles was interesting. I think Plup acts very underperformed at fifth, but kudos to Swedish and Slocks for getting fourth.
Hmm.
Other than that, I didn't really see too many surprises. I didn't think this was a very stacked teams tournament. Like, once you go beyond like fifth, seventh, it doesn't look very strong.
I mean, yeah. Once you go outside the top eight, I'll agree with you there. Like top eight qualifier was uh, Mojo and somebody. Mojo and Matt.Zeb almost made top eight. So yeah, I'll agree with you there. But I think the top eight itself was pretty good in terms of talent. Maxi Dragon Fox, by the way, proving that they're a team to be reckoned with. They beat Swedish Slocks, and took a game off Hungry Rocks meeting. They're not expected to win that one, but they also beat DJ and Moon. Game 5 was a pretty crazy set. So that's something to keep on. Oh, we talk about Plup Axe, by the way, and they lost to Swedish Slocks. So.
Yeah, it seems like Chic. Swedish Slocks deal well with whenever they play against Axe.
Pikachu. Yeah. They just, for whatever reason, they know what to do. I feel like Slocks is like maybe the best Fox in teams against Axe, right? Like the way he plays, he just seems to understand where he needs to be to not get destroyed, right? Like most Foxes just get murdered by Axe in teams. Because they don't understand, like they fall into a random situation which happens to be a kill. It happens too often. But Slocks for some reason avoids those.
Yeah, I mean, I think Swedish and Slocks really are good. Like, if you want to know where you generally need to be in terms of positioning, like Swedish and Slocks are a really good team to watch because they're not really fast, but they always position themselves really well.
Yeah. By the way, DJ Moon 3-0 disc hitting Cobalt. Is that am I crazy to say that that's kind of an upset?
I think that's like a game that could go like 50-50. I think that goes either way.
I think the 3-0 is definitely an upset. Did you think they would 3-0 them?
I mean, I think it would probably have been like a 3-2. Like 3-0 is a little bit surprising. But
yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm not terribly surprised like the Moon and DJ won, but 3-0 is a little bit surprising.
I think Colin's just not good in teams, huh?
He's okay. Like when I played against him at Big House, like I didn't find him particularly like spectacular in any way.
Yeah, I feel like Diz has been doing this thing with Colin for a little bit. I don't know why.
Well, like who's a better option for him?
Maybe that's why it's like he's just picked what's the best option for now. But I don't know. I haven't been particularly impressed with Colin and teams for a little bit. And I think this is a pretty bad loss, right? Like 7th is not good enough for them.
Yeah.
They should be going for a lot higher.
It's unfortunate because I mean, they've been teaming a lot. They didn't go to I invited this kid Boogie originally to rivalries, but he said like I won't go unless Colville goes, and they ended up playing some teams event instead in like the East Coast. So they're trying to make it work, but I don't know what their peak is.
I love it when people try to make it work. Yeah. That's important, and I think that's key. By the way, good context that they did decide to decline rivalries because of teams. So TOs out there who aren't putting teams in your event, you're lame, and teams should always be your events.
Yeah, and I
that's
actually
pretty much no TO anymore. But keep that in mind.
I got to talk to the Moon for dinner on one of the nights, and I did kind of broach the question. Like I was like, "Hey, like, so DJ, like, what do you think?" I actually didn't bring it up. Someone else did, and then we kind of prodded him. And then, do you know Ben Teasy?
Yeah.
Ben Teasy, Falco, New York.
Yeah, he's the homie, I know.
And I was just like, so you guys are friends with DJ, and, you know, the Moon's, like, improving a lot. Like, DJ's been playing for a while. DJ didn't do so hot in singles at CEO Dreamland, and I was just like, why don't you guys tell like DJ Nintendo to play faster? Like I feel like that's the only thing that's like hurting him. And then they kind of went into this like roll eye, like ugh, like we've been trying to tell him for years that he needs to play faster. So they're trying to make it work. They're trying to like talk to him and like incent him to do things.
I'm gonna say it. There are haters out there. DJ's my boy. It's not DJ Nintendo is actually a phenomenally smart player and actually extraordinarily talented and knowledgeable about the game. He's just playing the wrong character.
Yeah.
You're talking about an old man who's trying to play Fox in 2017. Shit doesn't work. It just is not a good idea, right? Like he in my mind he's a Sheik at heart. I've told him this many times. I sat him down at PAX and I was like, DJ, pick another character. You're not a Fox. Like there's so many people who try to convince themselves over and over again they're a Fox. He's just not a Fox. His soul does not reflect Fox, in my opinion, personal opinion. And you know, I don't know. I think he's more of a Sheik. He has a little bit of a Samus in him.
I think he's a Sheik
because when he plays it. But he's pretty much a Sheik, man, right? Like, I don't understand it. Like, of course he's still going to do decent because he's a smart player and he's playing a very good character. But his potential is way higher. He shouldn't be losing these people. DJ Nintendo's so knowledgeable. He knows more than like 90% of the people he's losing to. You just talk to DJ Nintendo about Melee, this guy knows what he's talking about. But you can't play Fox nowadays without having a lot more tech skill than he's got.
Or at that speed either. Like, because DJ is like really smart and he's relying on reads to like out punish his opponent or bait or whatever. It just doesn't work consistently enough at the high level that he's playing at.
Yeah, he needs to. He's just playing that character. He tried. I think there was a small, like, maybe 2-month sequence. He tried to go Pikachu. I thought that was a good idea because you combine DJ Nintendo and his smarts and like the innovations he'll bring with a character that's uncommon, so which can surprise players, and that's like a really good combo. But then again, it's like, no, Pikachu is like a naturally aggressive character, so I don't know if it's a great fit, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the issue you run into is that like his little schlick with Fox is that off rhythm timing, right, where he runs at you and then pauses and then like he hits you. He needs like a character that can like greatly punish that, and unfortunately,
you know what character is good with that? Sheik.
Exactly.
Sheik's amazing at that. She's like that's her whole game. That's all she does. Like, come on, play Sheik, dude. He's like he literally is a Sheik in a Fox body right now. Is the way he's playing. It's ridiculous.
You're not wrong. I totally agree with you.
So
so you know, hopefully, I mean, or he goes the Drug Fox route, but he needs to play faster because at least, even though Drug Fox is like a reactive, methodical Fox, like he does like play decently fast. And if he wants to go that route, he needs to do what Drug Fox is doing. But yeah. I think he's a Sheik main. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we're making this statement, and I don't even know if he's really ever played Sheik, like in a real high level competitive level. You know, like I know he's got it as a secondary. He can play it, but I don't think he's ever really put that much time into it. When it's really obvious. At least to me.
I think what was it for him? For him, like I think he would get so many grab opportunities just because of the way he sees the game. That like if he could master tech chasing, I think he'd be.
He would grab people so many times. He would be the grab master. The way he plays, he would get so many. His spot dodges. Could you imagine if he used his? He's like one of the best spot dodgers. Can you imagine if DJ Nintendo's spot dodges came to Sheik? It'd be ridiculous. Ridiculous.
He'd like chain grab other people, like he played against like another Sheik. I think he'd like jank people out of Sheik Dittos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He would be literally. We're talking about is a guy who's now like what do you end up being ranked like top 50-ish?
Like 70.
70? This guy's fringe top 70, and I actually think he'll become like a top 20 player the moment he picks Sheik. It would take him a few
20
months.
would be 20 is like lucky level right now. We'll say 30.
Top 30 player within like 5 months because he's so smart. Like, come on, Deej. Come on, Deej. You just come on, Deej.
So how much of singles did you get to watch throughout the weekend? Did you just really tune in for the later portion of it, or did you get to watch Saturday and Sunday?
I watched a lot of the VOD. I watched some of it live, some of it with VODs. I think I watched most of it though.
Plups Luigi.
It was pretty exciting. Okay, so it's hard for me to decide what the story of the tournament is. It's either a god almost winning with SFAT, or it's Plups Luigi. And I'm going to say it's Plups Luigi. By the way, not a good look for Luigi mains out there. That the best performance that Luigi's ever done is a guy playing his tertiary. Like, how depressing is that as a Luigi main?
It's not even tertiary, it's quaternary. It's his fourth best character.
This guy's just like, yeah, I'm going to play Luigi this weekend. And then he gets wins that, like, literally no Luigi's getting. It's like, what the heck, man? What's going on?
Literally his first attempt at it, too.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you know what? It'd be fun. So, viewers at home who get depressed about their character because they play, like, you know, that tier 2, tier 3 of characters, which are kind of, like, pretty good, but, like, sometimes don't hit results, like Luigi, like Dr. Mario, like Yoshi sometimes, you know, like those kind of characters, you know what I'm saying? When you're a player of those characters, sometimes you get depressed. You're like, man, no one's doing well with my character. And then you realize all your players suck. And that's a core issue. Sometimes that's the problem. And
well, then again, Plup is like your older valedictorian sister that your parents compare yourself to. Like,
what is that?
Like,
both my sisters were valedictorians. So what are you trying to say?
That, like, it's like your parent comparing you to them, and like Plup is that sister that's like impossible to compare to. Like, it's an impossible standard to compare to.
I feel like I should be able to relate to this analogy, and I still don't.
Oh,
but
well, that's because you're also great. So
yeah, exactly. I'm great.
Yeah, doesn't quite work.
Look, I'm not trying to say the Luigis are bad, even though I pretty much just said that 5 seconds ago. I think Bait's pretty good. Eddie Mexico's pretty good. All these guys are pretty good, but is Plups Luigi the best Luigi? Just say it, man. We're here to make statements.
I'll go with that.
You're just gonna say it? Is Plups Luigi the best?
Okay, we haven't seen a Bates in a while. I don't think Eddie's been playing pretty well in Mexico or in tournaments in general. Like, who else is there?
Shuish likes Luigi. He beat him in the Ditto, dude. They went 1-1 in the Ditto. Swish took a game off Hungry Box with Luigi. Like, isn't Swish's Luigi legit? Isn't that like his?
Yeah. Well, then again, we also have Luigi Kid, right?
There's Luigi Kid, play a Jello. You know,
Luigi Kid.
Vis doesn't really play anymore, but I gotta throw my boy in.
How many of those Luigis would take a game off of Mewtwo King?
Have any of them?
I'm not sure.
Dude, he could have won that set. Not only did he take a game off Mewtwo King, but the other games were pretty close.
Kinda. That FD game was disgusting.
Yeah. Some of those other games were pretty close. I should say.
It was kind of funny. It was a bizarre bracket for certain players. Gatsu was really salty. Gatsu,
So why was Gatsu salty?
because he was like, I beat Discus Boogie, I take Axe to game 5, and then I lose to 2 Saint.
Okay, real talk. Who's Toussaint?
2 Saint's a tri-state puff. He's actually pretty good. He just never travels.
I mean, clearly he's pretty good. My man out there beating Gatsu. Can we just say, by the way, Toussaint is the hug savior? Hugo literally ended up getting like 5 placings higher because of your boy Toussaint taking out Gatsu. Gatsu and Toussaint, their match, winner of that place, Hugs. Hugs then goes on and beats Drug Fox, Pew Pew, and then finally loses to Hungry Box. This is a massive swing for Hugs' placement.
I mean, debatably, okay, so if we were to kind of warp back and look at the bracket, would we have honest... I mean, Hugs did well for himself. He beat None, which I don't think many people called. He beat Drug Fox, and I think many people thought Drug Fox would win that, and he beat Pew Pew, which I think most people would say, like, Pew Pew was going to win. If he was beating Drug Fox, Pew Pew, and None, I think he's also beating Gatsu.
Oh, wow. Hugo fans are full force in the chat. Everyone's like, Hugo's been being Johnny. Of course he beat Gatsu.
Actually, like, Hugs is like 1-13 this year against Johnny. If I last checked. That's not beating Gatsu. That's not beating SUJ. Sorry to kill the Hugo train.
You tell him, Taff. That's not. I don't feel like that's true, by the way. It feels like it's been more than one set.
He won like a couple sets in 2016, but if you look at 2017, I believe it's like 1-13 or something like that.
Is it actually 1-13?
It's...
And by the way, let this be a lesson to all of you out there that it doesn't actually matter how good you are in Melee. It matters how good you're perceived. Because what happened after he won that one set, Tafo? Why do we all know that he won? He beat Johnny.
Because everybody tweeted it.
Because Hugo made sure everyone knew. That's why. And that is one of the best things he could have done for himself.
Yeah, everybody believes that he's like going even with SCJ. That's like the perfect advertisement for yourself. Yeah, he's 1-13 in 2017.
Marketing genius. You looked it up, 1-13?
Yeah.
21XXNE says Hugo has won like 2. You know, could be 2-13 if the database is wrong. It's either 1-13 or 2-13.
The sets he took last year were from the other sets he won were from 2016 December. So people who are saying that it's like more than 2 wins, it's only 1 win in 2017, and then he has like 2 wins at the end of like 2016. But anyway,
so you're telling me he would have beat Gatsu on this day? You're telling me Toussaint didn't just save him?
I mean, he beat None.
Yeah. Doesn't mean he's going to beat Gatsu.
That's true. Then again...
It's not how Melee works.
That's true. I mean, I think it was like... It's not in the realm of like...
None sucks against Samus, dude. None sucks against Samus. All right, None goes Ganon. Why are they in the same sentence for you in that matchup?
Because like None like rotated between Ganon and Falcon historically.
Gatsu's sick against Samus, man. Toussaint saved him, dude.
Well, okay, let's say we said Gatsu was good against Samus or Puff, and look at what happened to Toussaint.
Who said Gatsu was good against Puff? I never said that.
I mean, people generally said, well, Gatsu took games off of Hungry Box and also won that crew battle in a head-to-head on Dreamland. So, like...
All right. That's people, man. Point is, Gatsu is known good against Samus, especially Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo Gonzalez.
In particular, Hugo Gonzalez. So I'm going to say Toussaint saved him.
Okay, fine. We'll go with that.
And can you imagine from Gatsu's perspective? That's a dream bracket if you're a Falcon main. You're like, oh, this round where other players are playing, Hugs is playing Cyrox, Smash God's playing Swedish Delight. You have MacD versus None. During this round, all he had to do was beat Toussaint a Puff he probably has never heard of, and then he goes on and beats Hugs, a guy he'd have to beat Hugs, a guy he's always been able to beat. Drug Fox, who has had notable Falcon problems in the past, and then Pew Pew, a Marth, and Falcons typically beat Marths in 2017 because.
I mean, I think Hugs, like, this is Big Bull's Hugs, big brain Hugo. Like,
for Gatsu, this hurts. That particular upset hurts for Gatsu.
It does.
That one hurts.
It does hurt. I don't disagree with you. I do disagree that it would be free for Gatsu.
I didn't say it was free. I say he's favored, though, and I think Hugs got saved a stressful match.
I don't know. I think Hugo honestly is more stressed over playing Puff than he is Falcon.
He 3-0'd him.
He did, but
you think he would have? He
know
would
how
have rather
miserable.
played.
Okay, you know how miserable. You know how
Samus-
miserable Samus Puff is. Samus Puff is like one of the most miserable matchups I've ever seen.
Well, I don't think it's that bad. I've talked to Doug about this a lot. I think there's something.
Duck doesn't say any matchup is bad.
I've talked to Doug about this a lot.
Duck is like the Blur version of like for Samus mains. Like he believes he wins every matchup for some reason.
Does he? I feel like Doug John's a bit.
He used to John about Falcon.
I thought he thought every matchup's bad. He talks about Fox all the time.
I mean, he makes fun of it, but then you ask him so does
he wins against like every Fox and. Well, whatever. The point is, I refuse to believe that Hugo was staring at that bracket, saw Toussaint win, and he all of a sudden he was like, "Whoa, no! I have to play against Toussaint." You think that's what happened?
It's
and when he thought he was about to play Gatsu.
This is a Toussaint that was like winning money. So I think if I remember correctly, I'm not 100% sure. Toussaint played Axe and took him to last stock, last hit in a money match.
Look. Toussaint just had the tournament of his life. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think that man's a god. He beat Gatsu. A lot of people can't do that. For example, Hugo Gonzalez. Toussaint is amazing at Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm not taking anything away from him. But what I am saying is that Hugs probably didn't know who he is, and he was afraid of Gatsu. So
I think he was okay. I mean, I just feel like Puff is really bad for Samus.
And Falcon, is it? What are you on about?
Hugo himself would say he'd rather have Gatsu than a Puff.
Hugs86 in chat. This may or may not be the real Hugs. Verified stream. Says, LOL, I literally have witnesses in the part of the night before Sunday where I literally said I might lose to Toussaint. So, according to Hugs, he was afraid of both Gatsu and Toussaint, which is very reflective of his character. Anywho, Plup is the best Luigi. Luigi main step it up. Luigi Kid's right. Luigi can do it. You heard it here first. Luigi's amazing. You actually heard it for a second. Luigi Kid said it first.
So, in these large brackets, there's always a player that gets the egg award, aka like they totally just blew it. I'm gonna give that award to Slox. For this
Slox?
Yeah.
I mean, you could give this to a lot of people. For example, Gatsu. I think there's a lot of people who bombed this tournament.
Slox lost to a person that doesn't even use a GameCube controller.
Dang. Who did he lose to, Tafflikins?
He lost to Gravy.
I'm not going to go into it. But if I was Slox, I would dispute that fucking match. That's all I'm going to say.
What was that?
That's all I'm going to say. I would just dispute it, is all. I would just dispute it a little bit. If I was sitting there and commentating, I'd probably have walked off the commentary station because I only watch legal Smash Brothers. Is all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Poor Slox. Poor Slox. That's all I'm trying.
So I like went up to Slocks and I said like I went up to Slocks at the end of the weekend. I was like kind of going up to him saying, "Oh, like where have you been?" Slocks like interprets my walking towards him as like I was gonna walk up to him and say like I can't believe you lost to Gravy, and he totally just got really mad even before I said anything. And I went to say like, "Hey, like I haven't seen you all weekend. What's up?" And he thought I was gonna say like, "What the hell happened?" So he was. That just shows how salty he was. Poor Slocks.
Oh, poor Slocks. Poor Slocks.
So moving into, so did you have any other surprises in the bracket? Were you just kind of shaking your head?
Oh yeah. So let me look through this bracket while I'm remembering it. Disc Book of Being none. Disc is pretty good against Falcon, huh? And then Diskid went on and beat Duck 3-0, by the way.
It was bizarre because this kid lost to Gatsu in day one. So that's how he started off in losers. Nan was up 2-0, and then on game 3, he played FD. He was on the verge of winning, and then went for a suicide kill and lost. And then he ended up getting whooped the next 2 games to get a reverse 3-0.
Yeah. Other person, and I forgot who you said was your worst performance. I think you said Slocks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for his standards, Axe, man. We said we were on this train. We had this nice storyline built up. We were ready to put a bow on it. Said, you know what, Axe, that's the guy we have pinned as, top 8 easily in the world. He probably still is after this tournament, based on the rest of his year's performance, because his losses weren't really that bad. He lost to SFAT and Squeeze Light, I believe.
Yeah.
But still, like between teams and this, it's like, man, it would have been nice if he had a good run this tournament, right? Like, I felt like it was possible for him. This was like, he did get probably his 2 hardest opponents outside of the gods in his particular path, along with, I guess, Plup or something.
But he almost lost to Gatsu, too.
He almost lost to Gatsu, too. That's it. I mean, he walked away from a tournament, his only good win is Gatsu. And for his level, that's like not good enough, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know if you count Blade Jello as a good win.
Blade Jello? That's a good one. Sure, we'll take it. He's a pretty good player.
But it's I don't know. I don't know if you can. He didn't do much, but given how good SFAT was playing, like, can you really? I don't know if it was that bad. He didn't add to his resume. I'll give you that. I don't think the losses were that bad. Although SFAT spanked him.
Yeah, I don't think the losses are that bad. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still going to be 8th in the world based on our current
maybe
state.
9th.
Like,
I think depending on how you value Chu and SFAT.
Ooh, you're saying Chu potentially? I mean, Chu just had a really good weekend.
Chu's had 3-4 good tournaments in a row.
Yeah, Chu top 10. You guys got to spread it.
And then where do you toss Wizzy in this too?
There's also Wizzy. Oh, we didn't even talk about how Wizzy dropped out.
It's a Wizzy tradition. He drops out of the Florida events.
Why did he drop out? I didn't really hear.
Nobody knows, man. Why don't you ask Existential Wizzy?
Existential. Oh yeah, dude, that's one of the best Twitter accounts. One of the best Twitter accounts in the game. Existential Wizroom. If you're not following him, know that he will continue to live on despite that, and until for eternity.
Dude, Toph is having a good time with that meme right now.
Yeah, he's followings. You can't go to the grave with a following. I'm pretty sure Existential Wizroom does not care.
He does not care.
He's too busy pondering the meaning of life.
I think it fits him. So, then when he put that tweet out like a week and a half ago, I literally was like sitting next to him and I was like, "What does that even mean?" And he was like, "Oh, it makes perfect sense." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Huh, maybe he's just on some like next level stuff that I just don't understand."
21XXN says he was sick. Maybe Wizzy was sick. Fish Type says Wizzy drops out to play Zelda. Not joking. So we have two conflicting reports from the verifiable Twitch chat. You know, if it comes from Twitch chat, you know it's true. But
Absolutely, man.
It's one of those. So Pew Pew loses to Hugs. What's Mark's record against Samus again in the last year and a half? Is it terrible?
Let's see. Pew Pew's won. Actually, Pew Pew and Hugs haven't. They played at some local. I know Pew Pew lost to Duck last time. I think prior to this event, Moon also lost to Duck. It hasn't been good.
Moon beat Duck at What the Fox. I'm struggling to think of other times Mars have beat Samus's.
Pre-Super Saiyan Hugo lost to Pew Pew.
Is he Super Saiyan Hugo now?
Yeah, he is.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, my man did well this tournament. He's Super Saiyan Hugo. This is what it looks like when Hugo's Super Saiyan. He gets 5th.
Yeah. So Duck has won 6 in a row now in terms of games.
Duck has won 6 in a row in games?
Yeah. So after What the Fox, Duck won at Full Bloom 3-0, and then he 3-0'd him again this time.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. What's going on? It's one of those situations. It's like an awkward situation, right? Where all the results are heavily Samus-sided, absurdly Samus-sided. It doesn't really make sense. But in my heart of hearts, I refuse to believe it's anything other than the Mart sucking. You know? Have the Samuses figured something out that I don't understand?
The big thing is that they're not just standing there and just wave dashing back and tilting. They're actively controlling space. They're playing aggressive and they're dash attacking. So Martz just can't run over to them anymore.
He's Marth.
It is Marth, but
he's Marth. My man's got a sword.
Yeah, but these Samus mains are genetically gifted and they have big brains.
Oh gosh. So I mean, it's weird, right? Are we gonna sit here and say that Duck is that much better player than Pew Pew, or that Hugs is that much better than Pew Pew? That doesn't look right on paper. Same with Moon, right? It doesn't feel right to say it's a skill difference when we look at the rest of their results. It's probably a matchup knowledge difference to a degree. I don't know.
I mean, if you look at certain things,
losing.
Okay,
they're losing.
Let's look at it this way: the Moon and Pew Pew, they're not Sharkers, they're not PPMD style Marts that are gonna dash stands, play neutral, hit you once, and then reset neutral, and then constantly outspace you. They're not those kind of Marts. They're the Marts that love to hit things and combo. And Samus Marth is a very slow-paced matchup. You hit each other twice tops, so you have a lot of room to make adaptations and condition and figure out people's habits. Who's good at that? Duck and Hugo. Are Pew Pew and the Moon really good at that? They're all right, but Duck and Hugo make a living off of conditioning people and figuring them out. And Mart Samus is a matchup where you are allowed to do that.
All right, man. Thanks for the analysis, Tapo.
That's the way I see it. I know I created a parody Twitter account just for you.
He's got a sword.
I feel like Samus can win the next 40 sets among the top 25 players, and you'd still think that Samus loses the matchup to Marth.
Yeah, I would. You're right. I actually completely agree with that statement.
Remember that rant that you made a couple weeks ago about Ice Climbers and Fox, and how we should look at results? At what point do you kind of go, well, my intuition and my gut?
You misunderstand me, Tapo Kids. You misunderstand me, Tapo Kids. There's a difference here. What I said in that tweet was the storyline should not be shaped by anything other than the results, right? So read my tweets intently. There's a reason why I put few out, because they're bangers, and you should read them well. What I'm saying is, there's going to be people out there who, for whatever reason, are going to go on the commentary desk, sit down, going to go out on Reddit and Twitter and whatever and say a million times that, oh man, Marth destroys Samus in this matchup. Such an uphill battle. What can the Samuses do? Blah blah blah. Like, I don't know if Duck can win. He's such a huge underdog, right? When in reality, he's actually a massive favorite because he beats them all, right? And so to me, I think what I'm trying to say is, when you make a storyline, it has to match reality, right? Now, if we're saying theoretically, in my personal opinion, knowing what I know about game knowledge, removing results a little bit, and using core game mechanics, I personally believe Marth wins free, right? But that doesn't mean it's translating to the results. Doesn't mean we're executing it right. Blah blah blah. If in commentary you add that caveat where you say, "Hey, my personal opinion, theoretically, Marth wins," you could do that, but you should also add, "But by the way, the Samuses have been destroying Marth for like a long time now."
So given that, like, at what point do you kind of have to go like, okay, like, I might have to rethink my perception of this matchup?
When you feel like the results impact how you think the game should be played. Like, look, we just talked about Luigi, right? We literally saw a player who was just simply more talented, more skilled, more proficient, pick up a character and do better than the Luigis who are solo mating him, right? Like, skill is the biggest determinant factor in Melee. Like, and matchups look particularly bad when that skill isn't shown. Falcon versus Sheik looked terrible when there's a skill difference, right?
Yeah.
But the closer skill gets, it actually starts looking better and better, right? It's amazing how that works. But visually, some matchups just look really bad when one side is winning, right? But once people start figuring it out, it actually devolves down a little bit. You're like, okay, maybe this is doable, right? So we have to keep that in mind. But I think that having a personal opinion of a matchup is fine, but then applying that and saying that that's what the storyline of the scene is incorrect.
Okay,
right?
Got it. That's fair. I agree.
Right, like, I think it's theoretically, if you want to say, you know what, Fox destroys ICs, I don't think any Fox should be losing ICs, that's appropriate. That's fine. But then to take it and say, this guy's like, that the ICs is the underdog, or that this matchup is like, oh my god, what is this Ice Climber going to do, blah, 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 like, that's absurd, because the ICs, I mean, for all I know, I don't know if the article said it or not from Smash EG, for all I know, the ICs might be winning percentage-wise in that matchup, right? Because it just has been going back and forth for a very long time.
That's fair.
So, skill, man. It's crazy how it works. But it turns out Melee's a pretty good game.
So, do we have to give Hugo props then, or... So, do we give Hugo props, do we give the character props, or do we shame the Marth mains?
A little bit of all of them, right? Like just a little bit. Good job, Hugo. Good job, Hugo. You did good. And Marth mains, you have a sword. You know what Marth is? Marth is a Soul Calibur character playing Tekken. Everyone else is out here trying to box. Everyone else is out here trying to, they've got their little moves. Maybe Fox got a little taekwondo. Maybe Ganon can play and do some judo. Ice Climbers can grapple. Marth's got a sword.
Marth's got a sword.
Come on.
He's got a sword, man.
Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Anyway.
Top 8. SBAT.
Before we do that.
Yeah, what's up?
Dr. Brett said, but Marth's actual range is like the same as Falcon Sheik Samus's moves. First of all, that's just factually incorrect. Look at Marth's range. But forgetting that, and he says that analogy makes no sense. But forgetting that, I'm not going to sit here and break down why Marth's a godlike character. You should probably already know that if you're watching the show. But the general gist of it is destroying hitboxes in Melee are amazing, and his range outranges everyone. And he's faster than, like, everybody, except for, like, 2 characters. Like, come on. There's a lot. Am I going to have to sit here and tell you guys why Marth's amazing? And why you shouldn't be losing to Samus?
Well, yeah, because nobody knows why.
You shouldn't be losing to Samus because they shouldn't be losing to spot dodges. They should be using neutral air to beat out spot dodge spam. They should be using rising forward air after they take forward tilts on shield and wave dash out of shield on all of Samus's moves. Now, most of them aren't safe on him. They should be doing up B out of shield on the close tilts. And they should be using the top platform to go safe and move out of poking pressure. Like all this stuff. Come on. Whatever. There's a lot there. Nash SSB says, Blur, let's see you play a matchup. I'll never have to do that because I'm going to hide behind a microphone. Anyway, next topic. You were saying top 8.
Top 8.
Top 8.
Top 8.
Top 8.
SFAT?
SFAT, pretty good. He's a pretty good player, man.
You know, I wonder, actually, side note.
He's a pretty good player.
I wonder, before we go to SFAT, I wonder how the Ice Climber mains and the Peach mains feel that a Swedish secondary Peach is beating them. Swedish hasn't lost any Ice Climber since like Chu like a year ago.
Is that actually true? I thought the Swedish Peach was gonna. I think we made the prediction on the show that we thought there's gonna come a time where Swedish Peach is just gonna face a wall where like it's just not gonna work anymore, right?
It looks really clean.
Here we are. It's still working.
Dude, Nintendo actually tried to pick, I believe, Puff for the counter pick, and it didn't work.
Yeah. So, Swedish Peach proving dividends. His Peach is actually pretty good, though.
It is. Yeah. It's clean.
It's actually genuinely good. He's got good secondaries. Like, I don't know if he would have won that Plup set without his Luigi. That was a poor match.
Oh, man.
Right? Didn't that might have won him back counter pick? I don't remember. I have to remember the set. But so there you go, Swedish.
Let's go to Swedish.
Let's go, Swedish. Would Plup have beaten Dizkid had that been the set? I don't know.
Plup, I think Plup would comfortably win.
I would have really liked to see Plup Luigi versus Hungry Box.
Yeah, me too.
Because, there's a lot of theory crafters out there that say Luigi does all right against Puff. I'd like to see it. And I'm sure Plup isn't super practiced at the matchup, but I just like to see it.
I think in many aspects, the way that Sheik and Luigi kind of play, especially against other floaties, it's like very similar in like what they want and the positions they want. I think it translates pretty well.
Yeah. So it was a close set. Plup goes out there. I think that was for 5th place. So still a really good run. That's better than his Fox did at Shine. So, and they're pretty similarly stacked tournaments. Last Shine and this, almost equivalently so, actually. With SFAT doing a run, and there's HBox Mewtwo King. Pretty similar tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. He could have gone even farther, frankly. Like he could have been 3rd. If Plup got 3rd with Luigi, that would have been actually like insane. It's already insane that he did as well as he did. I'll admit there was a part of me, and I know there was people out there who shared the sentiment. Who when I first learned that he was going Luigi for the tournament, I was sitting there as a Melee fan going like, man, there's been a few tournaments now where like people have been dropping out or like not trying, blah blah blah. I really hope this isn't another one of those, right? And we actually got a treat, like it was super fun to watch him.
It was I think everybody was really happy. Like people, I'm not sure what the reaction was from home, but like everybody was going nuts at the venue. You there, boy?
Yeah. You still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. People are saying Shine was way more stacked because it had one more god. That's not that much more stacked.
Actually, in terms of like top 30 level players, I think Shine had a lot more.
All right, sure. So whatever. The point is, they did similarly well as Fox and Luigi. I'd say. Well, hard to say which one did better on the whole. I mean, the Drug Fox set was pretty dominant.
Yeah, Drug Fox was so mad about that. He was like, after he left that set, he was like, classic example of Fox main losing, messing up, and getting punished by a random mid tier, was the way he described it.
All right. I don't even know how to analyze that, but all right, Drake Fox. Sammy, you love with that.
You know what's really interesting, and this wasn't really talked about a lot. Would you say like we've talked so much about clutch box, like the fact that Hungry Box like in a last like he'll be down one stock to two, and then he'd somehow come back and win. Like this was like the most unclutch Hungry Box I've ever seen in my life, like at least in like the past year.
Why do you say that?
I mean, he was up 2-0 on SFAT and was like one rest away from winning Game 3 to like shut out Zach. And then
he got so lazy.
He got very lazy. Even Zach after the set was like, "Go ahead."
So I think that like I'm just gonna be real. I cannot believe how lazy HBox got. Like he looked like he took for granted his wins. You know, it looked like a player who thought he could sleepwalk to a win against both Mutuking and SFAT. And it's not true. You got to respect your opponents.
I totally agree. Like I think Mango, always brings it up as like a kind of a low key jab. Is that like HBox is the type of player that needs to lose to like win. Like when he's at the top, he just doesn't seem to do well.
Yeah. And I mean his reigns at the top, which he's had, have always been pretty short lived considering his skill level. Like I think there was the peak skill level of that he achieved at around Evo time and leading up to it, really high, honestly, right? Like super high. He could have kept that up for longer, right? Like a lot of other Smasher reigns have been longer than that, and he dropped it there. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I it's hard to tell. Hard to go inside his mind. I'd love to get an interview with him to like figure out what's going on. But
I think Hungry Box is that
he literally like guys. HBox. Let me tell you one secret about HBox sets. HBox sets are 10 times more entertaining to watch from his perspective. And
they are. There's a lot.
If you watch from another perspective, you're just watching. There's a lot of tension. If you watch from another perspective, you're watching. It's like watching yourself get frustrated, right? Because his HBox's style is built on making his opponent frustrated, and so if you're watching it from like the Fox's point of view, you're getting frustrated too. But if you watch it from the Puff's point of view, it's actually pretty fun. Anyway, what I was saying is that I agree. I generally like the theme of clutch box is that I've seen more absurdly clutch situations from him than maybe any other player, but not when he's playing lazy or disrespectful. It's almost like he can't pull it out of himself, And I've seen other players feel that way. Like when you're losing a set, but all of a sudden it goes to the last game, but you don't feel like you deserve it. Like if you're not in practice, right? You enter a tournament and you lose, or if you're not respecting your opponents and you're losing, it's almost like you feel like not that you should lose, but that if you lose, you're giving yourself. It's almost like you want the lesson. Is how I should put it.
Yeah.
You want to learn your lesson by losing, in a weird way. Like you're building the storyline in your own head as the match is playing. That hey, I was kind of goofing around game 4, and then as it goes on, oh my god, why was I goofing around during that time? Oh my god, I'm actually gonna lose now. What the fuck? This guy's making 3-0 comeback. Blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah.
It's easier to be clutch when you're super locked in the whole time, and you're like going back and forth, and you feel like, oh my god, I got that back air. That's so sick. I got that rest. Oh my god, nice. And you're playing shot for shot instead of wow, I let myself get here. Right? Then it's hard to bring that out. So,
I agree. So we'll see. I think Hungry Box will eventually figure it out, but like there was a huge drop off, And like I commentated this, and the main issue I had was Hungrybox was landing as if like he thought like the Foxes couldn't punish him.
Yeah. There was like some weird ones. Like I think there was the very important grab that SFAT got. I think it was the FD game, where he just like landed with like the worst nair of all time, and just gave him the freest grab I've ever seen in my life.
I don't think he even naired. He just landed.
Did he just land?
He didn't throw out a nair.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do know what you're talking about.
And I was sitting there, I was like, this is elementary Puff main stuff where it's like you're in Fox's range, letting him hit you. Like, you're just letting it happen.
And the big issue here was that everybody and their mom knew that SFAT was looking for a grab.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so we are thinking about the same situation.
Yeah.
It was a moment where it was SFAT's in a spot where, like, if he doesn't land a grab, like, in the next hit, he just loses the set, right? And I've yet to see. I can count very few times HBox giving away a grab that easily.
Yeah.
You know, it was way too easy.
It was definitely sloppy, and he just didn't seem like. And then there was like the FD game against Mutaking where he just kind of gave up at the end. He just like threw like 5 smash attacks, let Mutaking hit him a few times, and then he just like fell off.
Exactly. Like, what's going on? You're Hungrybox. You didn't come back from anything. You know, like. It was like a situation where you're like, I'll just win game 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of hubris there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I don't want to project emotions onto him, but I think Melee talks. And if Hungrybox himself in his own head wasn't saying all these things that were projecting onto him, I think his Jigglypuff might have been. Because Jigglypuff was giving me that body language.
Yeah, it's funny how like you could just feel it, like just watching the game. Like you don't even have to look at Hungrybox, and you can get to that conclusion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for Mutaking to make the losers run, but like it makes me wonder, like how much did Mutaking like earn that versus like how much did Hungrybox just kind of give up? Like I don't want to diminish Mutaking's win. He played great in losers. Like, my god,
good for him.
His Sheik was so bad at the matchup against Hungrybox.
Mutaking even gave him a free game with Sheik.
Yeah, that was the ugliest Sheik puff I've seen in a while.
HBox lost. Everyone was talking about one frame, right? Like, apparently, according to Practical TS, Hungrybox was one frame off from winning the set, right, with that back air. After controversially picking Fountain of Dreams, right? He didn't have to pick Fountain of Dreams. That's usually not what he picks. But he picked Fountain of Dreams, and he was one frame off, apparently. But let's not forget, Mutaking just gave him a free game, right?
Yeah, like, it was like one of those things like we're so focused on the last shot of the game where like you could have won the set, like the game, like many times over, like in like a million other ways. Like, I agree with you.
Yeah. Dweb says it was that or Yoshi's. Where would you go? Why was it that or Yoshi's? Couldn't you have gone Battlefield? Dreamland Battlefield.
Where did he win?
Those are his counter picks usually.
Yeah. Where did he win game 1?
Yeah, he won against Sheik. I want to say he won against Sheik on Yoshi's. That sound right?
It was Battlefield.
Oh, he won Battlefield game 1. I see. Yeah, I think he goes Yoshi's. Maybe, I guess not. I don't know. He was in a hard spot because there's a lot of people who have been pressuring him to go Fountain more. Because, I mean, he should go Fountain more, right? But he personally doesn't like Puff on that stage for his own reasons. And some of those are very valid reasons, by the way. He thinks that Puff's gameplay with side platforms is diminished. That extra room can sometimes help him gain breathing space, which can prevent consecutive hits. A lot of, like, the stuff he's able to do between the platform drop game, so going from drop from the platform back air, drop from the platform pound, drop from the platform tomahawk, blah, blah, blah. That whole mix-up gets reduced. Like, a lot of the basic Hungrybox stuff gets nerfed on Fountain. But I think what he underestimates is how much of everyone else's game plan it also reduces, right? Like, Mutaking Fox game plan gets destroyed on Fountain with how hard it is to laser. So, yeah, you just got to play it different.
He said he would like to go Fountain a bit more. I talked to him about it also because I was very curious. He just said like it's an unexplored stage for him, and for him, like he loves his setups, and he's not familiar.
Yeah, he's
with
a
the
setup based
platforms.
player.
So
Yeah, I mean the reason why Fountain of Dreams is my favorite stage in the game is because I actually it just has to be played the most differently of all the stages, right? Like I guess foregoing the Pokemon Stadium transformations, in which case you just don't play them. But for most of them, at least, you just go on the other side. But Fountain of Dreams, you have to play a completely different game plan, right?
yeah,
And it is true that his base game plan gets nerfed there, but everyone's base game plan gets nerfed on Fountain, right? That's like what makes the stage so special. And setup-based players like Mewtwo King and like Hungrybox especially get nerfed there because the stage requires so much more creativity because there's so much dynamism with the platform heights. He has a hard time adjusting to that sometimes, so I understand it. But I think especially against particularly defensive players like maybe Mewtwo King and Armada, it's still a good pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think over time, like if they keep, if they kind of run into these situations where they're forced to play that, they're eventually going to learn it. They're going to get comfortable with it. I don't doubt that at all.
Guys, is dynamism not a word? You guys, why is everyone freaking out about dynamism?
Dynamism?
Yeah, it's fine. What's wrong with you guys? Guys, I got vocab. I'm a commentator. Come on.
It's actually a word.
Of course it is. You guys are freaking me out, making me think I messed up. Anyway. Anywho, Hungrybox played lazy. I still think, skill-wise, he's still clearly second best. Rank-wise, he's still second best. Don't freak out over this result, guys.
Remember last week when people were saying like Mewtwo King fell off after one event?
Yeah, like chill out with it. Like Mewtwo King's a very good player. Of course, he can sometimes take heads off Hungrybox. He's very disfavored, so don't let this warp your stuff too much. He's still at disadvantage. I know often that happens with Mewtwo King. Mewtwo King wins one set out of every 20, and all of a sudden, the ratio is better than that, right? But he wins once in a while, and all of a sudden
he wins like 25-30. It's not bad.
A percent, right? He won like 25 to 30%. And all of a sudden, is Mewtwo King doing better? Blah blah blah. But usually, it's like that's kind of the rate at which he wins against HBox historically. It's just kind of what you should expect him to take some sets occasionally. He's Mewtwo King. He's current third best in the world, probably, right? So
yeah, I would give him that.
Yeah,
the only person that can kind of contest that at this point is probably Leffen.
Yeah, sure, but his results aren't really there right now.
Yeah.
To really make that a case. Anywho, here's a question: if not for one frame, #1 frame, do you think SFAT would have won the tournament?
If SFAT played Hungrybox?
Yeah.
Tough to say, man. When you haven't been in grand finals that often for these bigger tournaments, like it's a whole new dynamic, and I'm not sure if SFAT said he prepared for Hungrybox and didn't expect Mewtwo King to win that set.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I mean, I feel like SFAT's not ready. It's not his time yet.
My man has gone so close. He's literally gotten closer than like anyone, right?
Yeah.
Multiple times now. I mean, how many tournaments is it? Was it Shine, Clutch City Clash, and this?
Yeah.
Like, SFAT, you're right there. And it's been Mewtwo King every time, right? That's stopped him?
Yeah.
Just the wall. And he beat Mewtwo King in winners, so it's not like he can't do it. But it's just
yeah.
And what's tough about Mewtwo King too is that his punish game is so heavy that like keeping yourself mentally in it is tough.
SFAT started missing like everything off of Wave Shine, and he got way too antsy. So to me, what that says is that I don't think he's mentally prepared to win a grand finals at a larger tournament.
Yeah. I think he's got all the skill in the world. He's good enough at this point. He's good enough at this point.
I mean, I think the good sign here, if we're to talk about, like, we've talked about it in the past where, like, we had Wes after Sandstorm, and we have these moments where we're just like, okay, does this player, like we talked about, acts in the same way? And I do still think so. But for SFAT to kind of continue and make it to grand finals and beat two gods a tournament is a really good sign for him in terms of skill.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm going to say this right now. For the haters out there, and I want you guys to spread the message, there was a solid maybe month and a half period where everyone out there was saying, you know, man, Melee, it's just getting stale. I don't know what's going to happen. Then what happens, right? Melee always steps up. Weezy gets the grand finals. SFAT gets the almost does it again. You know, two really close calls, two historic moments, right? Had they just played a little bit better, they would have won the whole thing, and it would have been the biggest news story of the whole year, right? If either Wizrobe or SFAT, I mean, they're already big news stories for them to even get second, right? If either of those guys had won a tournament over gods, like, we're shutting down the internet.
And the fact that SFAT was in winners for this and had two shots at it, like, and the fact that we're having a non-god like make it to grand finals is like an indication to me that, like, at least with non-Armada and the Titans, like, the gap is closing a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think Armada's a tough one. When he's in the bracket, he's gonna be a rough one. But HBox does have, you know, whether it's hubris, cockiness, whether it's off days, who knows, whatever, broken finger, whatever the case is. But he does have days where he looks vulnerable, right? As second in the world. And people can take sets off Music King. They can do it. And Mango's not looked in great form. So, like, and Leffen's not even always there, but if he is, I mean, he's got some bad matchups, right? So, totally doable. Maybe not doable for against Armada, but totally doable for the rest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But even then, we're getting a lot of close calls against Armada that, you know, if we looked in 2015, we didn't really see as often.
She was gonna do it, dude. She was gonna do it. It's gonna be.
I mean, like, cause like,
how funny would that be? By the way,
that would actually be
the
really
first
funny.
guy who beats Armada is Chu. That would actually be the funniest thing in the world.
I feel like we might be in the alternate universe where that happens. I'm not saying it will happen, but it's in the realm of possibilities for whatever reason.
Can I just? Is it insane to say that if Chu ever takes a full set off Armada, it would actually potentially just legitimately move him up the greatest of all time rankings from one set alone? Because to me, that is one of the greatest accomplishments in Smash history.
I think Chu instantly rises up to, like, you could debate Mango or Plup and put Chu in that tier.
I don't mean just in the sphere of the current rankings.
But like
I'm
legacy?
Saying, if legacy-wise, if this guy was literally one of the best in the world in 2004, and then 13 years later, he's taking a set off Armada and Peach ICs, you know, arguably the greatest player of all time. Actually, not arguably, the greatest player of all time. You know, in my opinion, that is a level of accomplishment that, like, when you put it down in one sentence, it speaks to his legacy the most.
He beat Armada.
With Ice Climbers. Now, he hasn't done this yet, but I'm just saying, that would be pretty crazy. That would be also shut down the internet levels of crazy.
That'd have its own Kotaku article.
We'd have to close threads on Reddit because there'd be so many threads on Reddit about how Chudat is a god, and everyone has nightmares of Yayas that night.
Yeah.
So.
Imagine if I don't know if that would be more hype or if Wobbles winning Evo would be that hype.
That would be pretty crazy.
It's insane. Chu's year has been great. You could argue him for 4 or 5 if he beat Armada in one set.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
So, my man's crazy.
He's crazy. Daniel Rodriguez. So, SFAT, good for him, though. But I think it's not I mean, as reactions have come in for the tournament, it's not this wow SFAT is number 2 or SFAT got the grand finals. It's more like disappointment. SFAT choked. It's
that shouldn't be the takeaway.
Oh no. It's a sign of respect though, because if that was his first time and that was very unexpected, people would be praising SFAT for getting number 2.
But this is the third time now. I mean, that's actually a really good and salient point to make.
Yeah.
That SFAT, this is your third chance at it. Who has had 3 chances at beating, a tournament with gods, multiple gods? And he's a demigod, right? Like, he's had 3 chances now. Normally, just being in that position is something we celebrate. We saw what happened with Wizrope in Rival Race, where everyone was just like, whoa, this is a big deal. SFAT's getting to the point where we're like, bro, this is your time. Please take the mantle because you're good enough. You're good enough, right? Like, people are cheering him on.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
And so that's what I mean. I mean that in the most respectful way. That the takeaway was people were disappointed in SFAT as opposed to being surprised that he got second. And I think that speaks volumes to his last 8 months.
Yeah. No, I got you, man. That's actually a great way of putting it. So, still he won teams and he got second in singles. He might have won the most prize money for the event, right? That's kind of a crazy statement to make, huh? So, no, he didn't, I guess.
No, Mewtwo King flipped over and got the lion's share of singles. So,
yeah. But he got
paid. He got paid.
Man, good on you, SFAT. Good on you. So, really entertaining event. I had a lot of fun watching it. Looks like, and if we're going to talk about on a grand scale, dude, Dreamland, I'm excited for this to be a thing. In Smash Brothers, we go to Orlando 6 times a year. I make the joke all the time that I get from people, hey Blur, it must be so awesome traveling the world and going to Smash tournaments. You must go to a lot of places. And I'm like, bro, I go to Orlando, SoCal, Michigan. I go to the same places tournaments are in the same places. You know what I'm saying? So we got another cool tournament in Orlando up now. And it was pretty cool. They put a lot of effort into Wispy. There was a lot of care and detail there. And I'm just going to say this as, someone who is critical of TOs often, who looks with a finer eye and says, you could have done this better, you could have done that better. Of course, I always have feedback. But I really appreciate that a guy who is known more for his FGC TOing put as much or more care and detail into this event, and it's obvious, as he does his FGC events, right? How often do we see a non-endemic TO go out there and make Wispy Woods by hand? Yeah. Come on now. We've never seen it before. So I have big respect to my boy Alex Jabailey, for putting in the time and effort, because he had an Easter egg hunt. Easter egg. He's thinking about stuff. He's trying to innovate. He's trying to do cool stuff for the fans, for the people at home, for the people in the venue. Respect.
I mean, I've always said that the CEO venue, at least for this year, which is unfortunate that they couldn't get the contract for the bigger convention center for this year's CEO, but they're doing big things for 2018. I always said that the CEO venue for all the games was a bit much in terms of size to entrant ratio. I felt like it was a little crowded, but for just Smash games, that venue that they used for CEO was perfect. Yeah, when it's focused down and it's Smash centric, I think it really paid off, and I think people really enjoyed it. So can't wait for the next one, man. Yeah, I might go on that one. I think it's a really good series. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up getting more entrants than regular CEO. Maybe not. Probably not. And right? Florida came out and supported it very well. Exactly. It's cool though. More events. We need more of those. So good stuff. It was a fun tournament. I think that if you just look at the responses online and people in the chat, the general sentiment, good for Smash Brothers, right? Just a little shot in the arm. We really enjoyed that. That was fun. So good stuff. That closes our recap for the past events of the last weekend. You were alluding to earlier some community-wide kind of issues that you wanted to touch upon. What was that? Oh, yeah. I don't know. That was more of a... There's always stuff I want to talk about, I always got a little bit of things here and there.
Um, well, I'll I'll say this. I'm growing more and more concerned about some of the topics that we discussed in the end of last year, in the beginning of this year, about how I think that the grassroots base of the community might be deteriorating a little bit in terms of some of the tournament brands, especially within the tier 2 of the ecosystem.
Right.
Like I think Genesis and Big House are safe, for example, but there's a lot of outside events. Royal Flush, sponsored by Tropicana, DreamHack. There's the Beyond the Summits. There's invitationals that come out, like Yahoo. Last year we had 5 guys, like all this sort of stuff that come in and naturally take space, and that's awesome. Those events are dope. We're happy about it. But I think when it becomes more and more troubling when you see endemic TOs then take a step back, because honestly, like, endemic TOs, and that means TOs from the scene, are, most of us, like, by nature, started TOing because no one else was doing it, right? Like, I know me, myself, I only TO'd because I felt like, well, no one else is going to do it, and I want to play Melee, So I think that's just like natural cause of it. And I think that we're first seeing it in some tier 2 events, like being able to say, okay, well, we can't really afford running a Smash tournament anymore because outside money has kind of upped the level and expectation and budget required to do a good event. But like, having said that, like, I'm particularly worried that's going to trickle down, right? Like, when those guys no longer have their regional or major size event to hold their hat on, does that make their local suffer, right? Does that mean they could just step out of TOing in general? Like, what does that mean overall? And I think that's like the greatest concern I have right now, and that I'm trying to track down. Unfortunately, the problem only accelerates because I'm sitting here, meanwhile, trying to fill out the calendar, trying to make us have as much content and as much good content as possible so the fans stay engaged. But while doing that, almost every opportunity I'm presented with is from outside money or outside forces because the grassroots guys literally just can't do it, right? Like, they can't compete. And I think sometimes the best ways to evaluate that for yourself is to go out and do it as an exercise, right? Like, how much money does it actually take to run a Smash tournament, and try to see what you would need to not lose a lot of money hosting a Smash tournament. And of course, I do exploration all the time and try to see what happens, and I think it's extremely difficult, right? Like, it's really hard right now to host a successful, especially tier 2 event if you're not Genesis or Big House. And I think, like, when you can say that, there's something wrong with the system. And I think, like, 2 years ago we were at the sweet spot of there wasn't that much outside influences, and a lot of grassroots guys really were hopeful and thought that they could do it. Whereas right now I'm getting more and more pushback where I think a lot of TOs are thinking, dude, I just don't have enough money to do this. What do you want me to do? And I think that's worrisome. We're still filling out the calendar with outside events, but the funny thing about outside people is that when the grass isn't green anymore, they start leaving, right? When they don't feel like they're getting their investment back, which they won't, right? Like, they go negative on events too, right? The difference is that they're okay with going negative because they have some business incentive to do it, or they think that they're building some brand or whatever. Usually BS, usually they're not building anything, but they at least feel that way, and so we may make them believe that for a while, but the moment they at least wake up and realize, okay, there's actually nothing here, then they might go away, right? So they're not driven by the same level of passion.
Right.
So
on the flip side, like,
I think that's my major concern right now.
If you look 3 years ago, how good were our events? To be perfectly honest, we might have nostalgia goggles. The passion's there. I don't dismiss that at all. But a lot of our events 3 years ago were really bad.
See, I don't know. I actually think that our event quality hasn't increased that much on the whole. In terms of like there's some things have increased, right? But I sometimes, like, if I cherry pick example events of, this year and like last 6 months, and I do direct comparisons with their equivalent, sometimes to years ago, and I say, I don't know if that's a better event or experience for people, right? Like I don't know, right? Like sometimes they're hard to replace, right? Like have we put on, was the Genesis 4 broadcast a better broadcast than Genesis 3? Let's make that question, right? Was Frame Perfect at the tournament better run than MLG Orlando 2006, right? Was this, you can go all the way down the line, and it's not to pinpoint those events in particular. I'm saying, like, you can go down all the way and really, like, go through the list and be like, okay, are we actually improving, and actually try to do with qualitative metrics. And it's hard for me to say that, like, oh wow, we've made leaps and bounds in event quality.
That's fair.
So.
And you're generally find this, like, but it's like, I feel like this is a scalability issue, because, like, even without those other events, it's like you have events, like, we want to raise the bar, right? And fundamentally, people eventually were going to get priced out no matter what. It just happened quicker than we wanted it to.
I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have to get priced out. I mean, yeah, we do. I think that, like, the natural problem we have in Smash Brothers, and it's the continual problem in Smash Brothers, is that we've had an extraordinarily difficult time getting monetizing our viewership, monetizing our event attendance, and all that, right? So because of that, anyone with $20,000, anyone who's willing to lose $20,000, or willing to lose $100,000, or willing to lose, honestly, frankly, small amounts of money relative to, for most companies, can go and stomp whatever attempt any single person is trying to do, right? Like, if you're out there and you're a third party and you're like, wait, all I have to do is to be one of the biggest events in the Smash scene is lose $100,000. For some of those companies, that's not much money, right? So I agree with you in the sense that because of our lack of ability to monetize, we are left vulnerable. Now, it's not a super fixable problem. It's not like we can go out there and sell TV deals, right? It's not like we can go out there and sell major sponsorships because of our lack of licensing. So we can't really do that. That's not really in our sphere. We're limited. We're handcuffed from really going farther in that sense. But what we can do is, and what we've done at least, is when those third parties come in, staff them up with our people, right? What we've done is when we onboard those third parties, we say, you know what, you have now 10 consultants and a full staff and equipment and commentators and blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, they end up being the cash cow for what we're ultimately running ourselves, right? Where our mind share is still the ones running it, right? Where I worry is when that becomes a long-term thing, right? Where those outside brands now become the biggest brands, right? What happens when that becomes the biggest brand and they start exerting their ownership power over the brand? Like, they start firing those consultants. They don't take the advice anymore. They feel like they know better. And then all of a sudden, then our soft control, our soft power over the scene, and our say over our own event quality goes away, right? Like, and we start losing the level of influence we've been able to have in forming those events. It's real easy when someone is desperate to get into a new scene and make a new event for them to take the advice of experts and take the amazing generosity that we often provide these new events by giving them so many different resources that they're able to pull from and the knowledge base that we have, right? But it's a different story when they feel like, you know what, I'm an established brand, I'm Mr. Important, right? And I got the money. Would they need us anymore, right? And these are the things I think about. These are the things I think about.
I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Because we can plan for the next 6 months, and short term, those events are good for us. Like, if our goal is to survive like 1 to 2 years, I'm not fully. I guess where I'm like kind of lost in this headspace is like, is even that necessarily a bad thing for 5 to 10 years down the road, compared to like not having them altogether?
Yes, 5 to 10 years. Yes, the current state we're going down. I would say, is an extraordinarily good short-term plan. And this is why we've taken it, right? We've taken it because we feel like these short-term gains are really good for us, right? And we're hoping, some of our long-term ideas end up providing those dividends, right? And there's some long-term ideas that we've been implementing. Obviously, we're seeing a lot more monetization through Smash EG, through certain innovations we're making in TOing. So maybe the grassroots guys can catch up. But on the whole, that differential is still too big to really make much of a difference at the moment with the tools we've built. And we've protected ourselves in the sense that we've at least set up Big House and Genesis as pedestals that can't take away from us, right? So we at least have that sort of defensibility that we're going to keep long term. That's nice, right? But you're talking, let's list out the biggest brands. Like, if you talk about what brands in Smash history could get 80K plus peak viewership, and where are they now, right? I think Big House can do it. Genesis can do it. I think Evo can do it, obviously. I think they've never really gotten close, but I think if branded right and done with the right marketing, I think Melee FC could do it just because of its stature in the scene. I think Pound can do it. I think Kings of Cali could do it. I think Gommel could do it. I think Beast could do it. And that's pretty much it, right? And if you look at that list of events, pretty much all of those are defunct or not announced. Or Apex could do it too, excuse me. Apex could do it too. They'll probably, maybe not anymore, but the idea and brand value of them, at least at one point, was good enough to do it, right? So we just listed some events, right? Shine, I forgot about Shine. So Shine can do it, right? In terms of the fundamental ones, right? Like these are the events that have shown that at least they have the potential to get there at some point. And by the way, I'm talking about endemic brands, right? Obviously, others can. I guess I included Evo in that bunch, but whatever. Those are, I think, a lot of the endemic brands that we're talking about. Genesis Big House, still alive. We're good, right? Fine. FC, haven't had one for a really long time. KOC, haven't had one for a really long time. Shine, still coming up. Nice. We'll take it. So continue to grow. But if they keep losing money, we'll see how long that lasts, right? What else was there? Beast just had some issues. You haven't read up on that? You might need to.
Yeah.
Or you might not. You might not need to. Whatever. Actually, you might need to. Whatever. Point is, they got problems of their own. We have Gommel still hasn't announced their event for this year. Hopefully they do. Cross my fingers. Maybe they don't have an event this year. Who knows? We're not gonna say. Whatever. Point is,
you're so ridiculous.
Point is, there's nothing announced. Pound, no event this year. Apex, no event this year. Like you look at this list, and you're talking about all these brands that we're talking about that are really crucial to the core of what Smash Brothers is. These are the ones that we've built over so many years, right? That have stood the test of time. That really could even with a return, even if they took a long break, like Genesis had a long break itself, right? We're only on the 4th iteration. There was a massive break. Even if they took a long break, they'd come back and they hit that 80K number without breaking a sweat, right? Yeah. Like, I know, and I haven't done it yet, I know if Kings of Cali comes back, that shit's doing great, right? Like, it's going to do all right. I already know that. Similarly, I know if FC comes back in its branded market right, it will do all right. And I know if somehow, some way, a proper Pound or Gommel or Apex, they could do it, right? It's much harder when you take an outside brand and you take and say, you know what, Yahoo or Five Gods on the South by Southwest gaming channel, we're gonna take you and we're gonna feed you all the best, all these great players and commentators and whatever, but we don't have a brand to build off, right? Like, it's not the same as when you then have, like, let's say, the Apex brand to build off of, or the FC brand to build off of, or whatever, right? Or the Kings of Cali brand to build off of, or the Genesis brand to build off of. It's very different. So you're starting at a harder starting point, right? So there is a clear value to the grassroots history that we've built, and it's been our differentiator, right? It's been what we've we've used to differentiate ourselves over time. We don't have many advantages as a community. We're on CRTs. We don't have an HD release. It's hard to get our game. It's like there's a lot of disadvantages to being Smash Brothers, right? We all know them. We can list them out. One of our advantages is that. And that we hold on to so dearly is that we've been around for so long. We've been around for 16 years, so we have this rich history we can draw from, right? And what naturally that means is we have, a rich grassroots scene and infrastructure and people to draw, smart people who've hosted events for a long time, who know what they're doing. We have brands which people are excited about, which have a lot of history, which you can make a trailer for and you can make a documentary about. That's really compelling, right? There's a reason the Smash documentary was compelling. It's not just that it was well made, it's because Smash is compelling. It's because the 16 years that we've had is compelling, right? That's one of our huge advantages. We'll always have that. That's an amazing thing. But when everything's a new brand, when everything is starting from the start, when everything is new again, we lose a lot, right? We lose the natural storyline that's built up. There's a reason why you go into Genesis and you're like, oh my God, there's so much there. There's a reason why we all get chills when Mango Armada make it to Grand Finals again, because we're like, I can't believe this is happening again. There's a storyline going into this that the series has naturally built. It's not just the players that built it, but the series and the brand is naturally built over time. It's exciting when you watch Big House Regional Crews again because it's a tradition. It's exciting when you watch FC Crews because they're the ones that built the brand and built that infrastructure. We all want to see it. For Kings of Cali as a brand, like it's cool to see a tournament that's in a bar in a party zone because that's what we're looking forward to. We know what we're going to get, right? And that's a big thing. And as these outside events start getting more and more sequels and stuff, they're going to build their own identity. It's going to be great, right? I love seeing that, especially with like the Smash Summits, which have become more established and become to iterate upon themselves more. It's good to see that, right? But I always worry about the reliability, about the long-term potential of all this stuff, especially with knowing the different KPIs that you have to meet when you're dealing with an outside event. Whereas, with a Smash event, all you really have to do is to convince the Smash show to host it is that it's going to be dope, and that's just a different conversation, right? All you have to do is convince them this is good for Smash Brothers, and that's all you got to do. And that's a lot harder than convincing someone this is a good business opportunity.
That could be a clip.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know. Things I think about. These are things I mull over every day.
It's just like every day is a new challenge, and these are good things. I feel like these are good problems to have, right? It's such a first world problem.
That we have too many events. Yeah. It's not that we have too many events. We actually don't have too many events, in my opinion. It's that we so often don't have the right events, right? Like how different would the calendar look? Like we're gonna hustle, right? Like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to make something for each weekend. I'm gonna make something for someone to watch every weekend. Just gonna do it, right? Like we got to make it happen. We can't lose fan interest and fan engagement on Smash Brothers. But sometimes, and I can't make the right event happen always, right? Like I really want there to be those vaunted brands and to bring those back because I know the viewership potential on those is sometimes 2x these other opportunities that I have sitting right here. But those other opportunities are sitting here, and those opportunities aren't, right? Like the Pound opportunity isn't in front of me, but the Yahoo one might be, right? So we'll take it, right? That isn't to say that wasn't a dope event. That's great, but I really would love to have Pound. that would be nice, right? And so when filling out like the content schedule and the overall storyline, and trying to build up the scene, I worry for the churn of those brands and how consistent they can be because we really need them to be yearly, right? We really need them to be yearly, and we really need them to be consistent because it's hard. It makes it really hard to follow, right? There's a reason why so many outside people say I only watch EVO each year, right? Or maybe EVO in Genesis or EVO in Big House or whatever, right? Because they don't know about this other, right? Like the branding really does matter. They don't know that Five Gods is on South by Southwest Gaming, right? They just don't. They don't know about Slash Pax Arena, right? They don't know that about this stuff, but they do know that Evo's every summer, right? They do know that Genesis is in January. They know about these things. This is something they've been conditioned to do over years, right? And they know that it's coming up, right? So even if they're not following Smash, they'd be like, oh man, it's January. I wonder when Genesis is. I want to tune in. That's a big deal, right? And that's naturally a big deal. And because our lack of consistency is going to continue as long as we're trying to, pull from the ground events out of panic, right? I want to work on the long-term solutions so much, but all my time is spent on keeping Smash alive and letting there be an event in the weekend, right? Like, literally all the time, I would say 90+% of my time is just making sure that Smash doesn't just have a dead month, right? Or a dead week, or something like that. Because that's what happens, right? Like, these events don't just come out of the ground. Like, you have to, go out there, find the opportunity, whether from third party or from the endemic brands, and say, we need a tournament this weekend, man. Like, we just can't have nothing. So, it ends up being, like, super in the weeds, and it's tough, right? We can never really get out of the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, you guys should all watch and go to Royal Flush. Tropicana is putting a lot of money, dude.
The Orange Juice Company?
No, not the Orange Juice Company, dude. Atlantic City. We worked hard on that. My boy Reno. Like, that was a lot of work. Please go. It's in a dope venue, dude. We've got like a theater-like stage. It's like a Genesis-like stage for the theater, an amazing ballroom. New Jersey, New York, East Coast. This event was inspired because people said after Apex was gone, there was a hole in the scene, and that New Jersey, New York tri-state hasn't had enough big events. That's what they said. East Coast was complaining over and over again. And that's, sure, they're placated by SmashCon, Shine, whatever. But they want something in tri-state. So we made Royal Flush. Register. It's going to be dope.
You got this. I'm thinking about going.
New York needs to go.
I think Tri-State's been itching, and they've been wanting a East Coast major for a long time.
They should be thirsty. Man. Right? They're starved. Man. So, things like this. This is the current state of the Smash community.
You know what they need?
What?
They need some Blur commentary, dude. That's what's been missing.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to commentate. I don't think it's announced yet, but I'm just going to say I'm going to be with commentating Austin. DreamHack Austin. Me and Toph.
Ooh, nice. You guys are doing top 8 and everything?
Yeah, we're doing top 8 and everything. I feel like I kind of want to do the DreamHacks in particular for now. One, because they pay. I'm a greedy Persian guy. Two, main reason is because I think that they especially are one of those events that really could use a storyline push and could use hype and excitement. I feel I'm pretty good at that, so I'm pretty hyped to commentate at Austin in particular. Me and Toph, we haven't really done a top 8, which is surprising. So I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, you've done a lot with D1 and Scar, but I can't recall the last time you and when's the last time you and Toph did one?
Me and Toph, I don't think we've ever done one. It's surprising, actually, because I'm pretty sure I've done one with. Actually, the only people I haven't done it with is Toph and Scar. I've done top 8s with Homemade Waffles. I've done top 8s with, of course, D1. Done with Wobbles. I've done it with tons of people. I think me and Toph did a team's top 8, but I don't think we've ever done a singles top 8. So it's pretty surprising. It really is, because we've both done dozens of top 8s. So I guess he's pretty much always with Scar. So it really hasn't happened. So I think it'll be fun.
I'm gonna steal D1 in the future.
We're really good friends. Do it, dude. You can have D1. Have him, dude.
Dude, D1's amazing. I found my commentator soulmate.
Sure, dude. You haven't commentated with me yet, have you?
No, we never get to commentate.
I'm every commentator's soulmate, dude. I'm secretly every commentator's soulmate.
Dude, did you see D1 last weekend though?
He was doing all right.
He's my soulmate, man.
You guys did all right. Tahoe D1 was pretty good. You're pretty happy. You're juiced, aren't you, dude? I'm pretty proud of you because you went out there, you took classes. People on the stream might not know this, but your boy Taffakins went out there and took a bunch of classes, right? Can you tell the people?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to hosting classes for the past like 6 weeks, and I'm going to be taking level 2 improv classes, and or level 2 hosting classes and improv and starting the next month. So I've been working my ass off. I've been going to night classes. I've been taking notes. I've been going over my VODs on stream of what they record of me. Like, I've been putting in a lot of work and a lot of practice.
So good stuff, man. I think it's shown dividends. You're getting better. So nice, man.
Yes.
So good stuff. Yeah. We should commentate sometime. It'll be fun.
We should. I just don't know when. This was the perfect storm of situations that allowed me to commentate.
I think me and you commentating in my head sounds just like the Commentator's Curse, where it's 80% Blur, 20% Tafo, which is like the perfect mix.
I think it's amazing.
I think that sounds amazing to me.
It was pretty crazy because I don't think I could do it consistently because this weekend I didn't compete. Mango didn't show up, and I got my stuff paid for by Cloud9 anyway because we were anticipating Mango to go. So it was just a perfect set of conditions that allowed me to commentate a late pool.
Yeah. Well, nice.
So when Mango's at an event, I'm not commentating the end.
The end. Ooh. You said, choose me or lose me. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think you guys did a lot better, and it was good.
Yeah.
So
I have to say one thing. I didn't know that there was no compressor for the stream, so I apologize to all the ears I blew out.
Yeah, that was really bad. But that was I don't think that's really your fault.
Yeah, normally there's a compressor there, so I thought for this weekend, I was just like taking the approach like people think like I'm not animated, I'm not engaged, and I'm not emotional. So I thought, well, hey, let's go and explore this space.
No, that's not your fault. 0% your fault. I'm gonna tell you as a commentator, like if the mics are bad, if the gain is bad, if the audio levels are bad, if you can't hear crowd audio, every commentator sounds bad. And the sad part is that people always blame the commentator because they say, "Oh, this doesn't sound good." When it's like, bro, them audio levels, homie. What about them audio levels?
Yeah. So they needed. I was assuming that there was a compressor that was going to limit the upper limit of my screaming, because there normally is, from my understanding. And so I was really surprised when I listened to it at home that there wasn't a compressor.
Yeah, there's that. So, and I know for me, like, I sound so much better with crowd audio, right? Like, the worst feeling is when you're getting hype and you listen to it over stream and it's like literally just your voice, period, right? It's like listening to acapella rap music, right? It could be kind of cool, but the beat is what makes it rock, right? And you need crowd audio to really, really make the hype work with it. And so I always hate watching streams and I don't have my crowd audio before me. And similarly, when the mic is peaking or doing what it did last weekend, it can also ruin things. That's definitely the audio level struggle.
Remember the old school days where it would just blow out when you went too high?
Yeah, that was actually. I mean, honestly, that would have been better than what you guys did last weekend.
It would have, but
that would have at least been hype and wouldn't have ruined ears. Would have blown out instead of blowing people's ears out.
I felt so bad about that. But, oh well.
Yeah.
I'd rather be hype and explore that space and not worry about that than be filtered and reserved, wondering, like, am I teetering in that gray area?
Yeah, exactly. So I think a technique that I really like is that I always get amazed by is, like, when you listen to, like, the sports commentators, Marv Albert's particularly good at this, and when they know how to correctly speak out of their stomach, right? And be hype without actually being very loud. I think that's like a really hidden skill.
Yeah.
Like when he says "good" or like something like that. Like
Who's the one commentator that goes bang?
That's I think that's Marv. I want to. Oh no, that's Breen, right? Mike Breen.
Yeah, I think that's Mike Breen.
Yeah, Mike Breen gets his bang.
Dude, I love timely bangs.
You know, so that's a really big skill. Is to know how to like sound like you're yelling for some reason. Like on the when you hear it in your headphones, it sounds like they're hype and yelling, but you're actually not like that loud. That's a very hard skill.
Puts it in. He's known for like bang and puts it in.
Yeah, puts it in. I love Mike Breen. Mike Breen is sick.
Mike Breen's amazing.
So good, dude. Mike Breen's amazing. I love Mike. He also just seems like a good guy. Have you ever, there's some people that you just like look at Mike Breen. I would love to hang out with Mike Breen.
I would love to hang out with him. I would love to hang out with everybody on the NBA on TNT desk. Like, that's my next goal.
Yeah. One day, esports analyst desk will get that entertaining. Because that's really what you got to go for, in my opinion. I think that's the stuff, right? Where the banter is so hype. Like, I look forward to that sometimes more than the game. I remember when the games end, it goes inside the NBA, I'm like, oh, nice. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I tend to just watch the highlights of the games, and then I listen to NBA on TNT.
Yeah, so. Anywho, so I wanted to talk about that. There's actually another issue I want to bring up on this show.
All right.
I'm too lazy to make a post or make an out of focus or whatever about it. But Tafo, first of all, you're part of the problem. I think I said it in Twitch chat to you once. What's going on with like these Smash 4 kids and some of these tweets they're pointing out there right now? Anti is going off about how he can't pay his 401k and pay off his car, and PB&J, the authority on this, your boy Smash Studios, I love Evan, is telling people, what if we raise the entry fees for player pots? You got Bear putting up proposed prize payouts. You got Tafo over here sympathizing.
Can I give you my perspective on why?
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to finish my statement, and then you get your chance.
Okay, fine.
Tafo empathizing with their plight, talking about, oh yeah, man, and saying all this stuff, right? And here we have this robust conversation of just consecutively wrong people, just over and over again. And here I am reading all this and being like, wow, this is why I make all the decisions around here, because what are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Can we please be rational for 5 seconds and not raise prices?
Okay. Can I give my...
Our vets struggling? How can we not do that? Jesus.
Okay, can I give the full context of where my thought space is?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I agree with you. I think the notion that I was attacking was, with the already small pie that Smash has, not to take that and give the top players even more of that pie. But I think there's a notion, like, I talk to people all the time. They're like, oh, you're into the esports life? Like, you must be making 100K off your esports endeavors. So I think, like, when we look at, like, the top players of Smash, like, I think just because we associate, a lot of people outside of our community associate that with esports, or you have the gyms of Smash 4 thinking, oh, wow, like, these top players must be making bank. Like, they're not. And that's, like, the point I got.
Some of them are. Like, relative to previous times in the past.
Well, relative to previous times, but like...
Ken is sitting at home salty as heck. My man was the best for like 5 years.
But like, still like...
PC Chris, you think PC Chris made money? My man Anti is doing better than PC Chris in his lifetime.
Yeah, but how much effort did PC Chris put in compared to like people now?
He was arguably best in the world, or top 3 in the world.
But like, in terms of like how much of his life was
like
spent.
top 15 in Smash 4, like, what are you talking about?
But like, you look at it in this factor, like, if you're like 20, you're just out of college and you're doing the Smash 4 thing, like it works out for you. If you're like 40 and you have kids, like this is not going to work out for you. And
He's not 40. He's not 40.
Yeah.
He doesn't have kids.
But like, how much of it do they sacrifice their long-term careers? Like we talked about events, where it's like,
dude, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's better than being a software developer. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's better than being a freaking a business magnate. I'm not like it's not. I'm not even gonna say it's that much money. But I'm also not gonna sit here and say, and this is where the conversation went, that therefore we need to increase entry.
Oh, but I never agreed to that. If you look at my likes and my favorites,
you empathize, and you did not spread the good gospel of the truth. And the truth is, the pie is not even. And to equate how much players are getting compensated in the current scene with the other stakeholders in the scene, as if they're one and the same, like you said. Like you just said a second ago, that people make out that the esports life is so lucrative, as if the esports life is one, as if there aren't many jobs within that sphere, right? As if there aren't many disciplines within that sphere, right?
Yeah.
Some of the current esports jobs within the Smash scene are significantly more lucrative than others, right? And we shouldn't treat them all the same. And when we decide how our monetization and our revenue generation is divvied up, we should take that into account. And that's what we do when we decide pricing.
Right. But like, so I totally agree with you. But I think by me just saying that doesn't mean I also agree with raising entry fees.
Suffocants, I'm not arguing against what you said. I'm arguing against what you didn't say because I expect better from you. Empathizing with what he's saying without calling out the BS, to me, is just as bad.
I mean, we make content all the time about how shitty it is to be a TO and an event organizer. Like, I feel like I've already done a lot in the sphere of commentators don't get paid well, event organizers are losing money. That I feel like if you look at my voting history, that I've represented the other people of the pie pretty well.
Look, in the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference because the proposed solutions that were made through Twitter are not going to rebound anywhere, and they're not going to actually meet legit event budgets and legit action. So it's just a tweet. So there's a reason I didn't respond, and there's a reason why it wasn't really major discussion, because it's just really not that important. But having said that, I'm going to discuss it anyway. The big thing, like, first of all, let me tell you the things that trigger me as a human being. Can I tell you the things that trigger me, just so people know, so they can say it back to me whenever they want to irritate me?
Yeah.
When people say, bro, Noah's not going to go to an event because of $5. If something is, $10 entry fee, they'd still go for $5 more. Like, they would still go for $15. Why don't you just make it 15 and they'd still go? Like, it's that line, that logic is literally I don't know if I get triggered by anything more in the entirety of Smash Brothers, because it's such a fundamental misunderstanding of economics that it stops the conversation. It's like, oh, okay, so you don't know how pricing models work, right? You don't fundamentally understand that when you raise prices, okay, yes, you don't lose everybody. Most people will still go, but you do decrease in attendance. And I bet if you did a chart of price versus attendance, they're very correlated. More people go to cheaper tournaments, right? Attendance is higher if you charge less. Attendance is less when you charge more. That's just a truism. That's just the truth, and that's true about a lot of things. People will buy less bananas if you start making bananas cost more. That's how economics works, right? So when you decide I want to increase something by $5, you are decreasing attendance. It might not be visible. You might be decreasing it by 5%, 10%, so you don't really notice it. So to you, it's like, oh, it's about the same. But you're decreasing it. You are decreasing attendance, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to take that hit in attendance, why would you do it in the one thing that literally the community is doing best at right now? Now, I don't think we're doing good enough, right? I think you're right in your empathy. I don't think we're doing good enough. I want to make the players get paid even more, right? Absolutely. But when deciding would I rather put that $5 into a pot, or would I rather put it towards an event and production and things that are literally not getting paid right now? We're talking about an ecosystem where commentators don't get paid 5 out of 10 times, right? Like, it's absurd. It's a literal absurd discussion. When TOs are losing money, like, it's absurd. If it was really that easy to raise it by $5, let's say you have a 1,000-man event, right? You increase it by $5, and there's 1,000 people. That's $5,000, right? That's potentially 5 commentators getting fully paid for the weekend, right? Versus the first place check being a little bit higher, right? Like, how is this a discussion? And for me, it's frustrating because we sit here and in so many different avenues we try to spread the good gospel, and I think a lot of people really do take it to heed. I do hear it sometimes. But I looked at a thread, and included in that was someone I know watches the show because he's on the show, Tafflekins, and no one brings up how this is a terrible idea. This is just a bad idea. You don't increase prices right now. What, do you think Royal Flush is benefiting right now because of increasing prices? Do you think we should have increased prices for Frame Perfect? You think other events, like, no, we want more attendance. We want to grow our scene. That helps. And you know what we want to do? We also want more TO sustainability. We're not going to increase prices. It's a bad idea. Bad. And you know what the worst part is? The logic that, okay, great. What it's going to do when you increase prices is going to incentivize more top player attendance, and therefore so many other people are going to register. Really? Like, is that really what it's going to be? Are we really going to go so far as say everyone's got such a big brand, like, that they're going to push attendance?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Mango and Mutaking, whenever they sign up, instantly get like 50 to 100 extra registers.
I think Mango and Mutaking might, or maybe they don't. What was Frame Perfect's attendance again? How did that help? Right? Like, did it really help that much? If these guys have such big brands, why, when they press the live button, do they have 50 viewers? Right? Like, if they're really such big celebrities that they're going to draw a crowd, why do only 50 people watch them online? Are more than 50 people going to watch them in person? I don't know. But if they're that popular, they might, like what's going on here? If they're really that popular,
I mean,
it'd be proved.
Okay, you can ask all the Midwest TOs, like, what happens when Mango or Mutaking register for their event and it gets announced.
Look, I do think it's important. Of course, having top players does generally help, and I especially think it's important for the top tier, right? But it's often not true for the tier 2, right? It's often not true in as a massive statement, right? Like, I'm not sure if Big House's registration goes up more than plus or minus 1% if one of the gods drop, right? Like, it's still going to be amazing. It's still going to be big. It's still going to be a big deal. Each one of their individual importance is not that high, and like, if they're cumulative importance, of course it is important to have top players. Of course it is. It is really good to have hype going into your event. It's very good for branding. It's awesome, right? But let's not overestimate it for a little bit, right? Like, chill out. Your brand's not that big. Calm down, right? Like, you're gonna TOs. You really think like you're gonna fly out one like ranked 35 player, and that's going to increase your attendance that much? It probably won't. Like, it seriously might not. You might be better served spending that money elsewhere, or not losing money.
Jack Zilla said he got 200 signups the day after Mango was announced.
Yeah, that's Mango, dude. I'm not going to sit here and deny that Mango would be a big draw, but I don't know if, you spend your money and you fly out someone else. Maybe it's not, right? Like, did HF Land get more registrants because they flew out chillin'? Did it? I don't know. I don't know.
Did they actually fly out chillin'?
I don't know if they flew out chillin', but I know he went. Would it have gone about the same attendance without him?
Yeah.
My gut tells me yes. Yes, my gut tells me yes. Right? And he's actually one of the biggest personalities we got.
Damn, chillin'.
So let's hold off a little bit. It's not that I understand. You're very important. You're top players. You're fucking magical. You make the scene run. Sure, buddy. But you know what's the brand that the what most people are going, the brand that's bringing most people to events, Super Smash Brothers, the one that Nintendo made. They want to play video games. That's why they're there, right? Like that's why they're going to the events. Like you can only take it so far, right? Like, can we stop kowtowing? Is all I'm trying to say. If ICTO's making that switch to 10 to 15, oh boy, it's never gonna happen. Thankfully, it's not gonna happen because we'll make sure of it. But come on, man, why do I got to be the only one to say it, Tafo?
I do say it a lot though.
Because it's the truth, right?
I mean, in fact, I have a Yahoo video. I have a full-fledged Yahoo video that talks about the common 0 and 2 pot filler coming out.
You're in the thread about it, and that's not the sentiment you gave away. So don't tell me you said all of that.
Imagine what I say. I disagree. It just doesn't give a good look. I'm not in the mood to make 15 tweets in a thread. I'd rather make a video.
Oh, okay. All right. It's you picked your battle. And see, if that's your argument, that's one I respect. Because for me, I didn't respond to it because I was like, you know what? This tweet's not going anywhere. It's not going to change anything.
Okay, so exactly.
So I picked my battle. I said this is not important.
I mean,
so
I'll
respect that, but you still responded. There's a difference there.
I mean, like, I responded to a certain aspect of it. I didn't, and in a different tree of that conversation was the money, like, let's raise venue fees, which was a completely different sub-tree of my comment.
All right, Tafo. I'm going to give you this one-time pass.
I have a full video coming out about how we need to accommodate to the O2 pot filler. And how they're the most important.
Because of that video, I'm going to give you the pass, Tafo. But whoever else is that thread, PB&J. Come on, PB&J. Come on, Evan. He's become a pretty good streamer now.
Yeah.
Evan's quality is pretty good.
It's been evolving a lot compared to the early days of the walking camera that was like all disjointed and stuff.
I'm going to be real. Evan's streams sucked before. And now they're pretty good. So good for him.
He's definitely invested. I'm happy for him.
Good for him, man. Come on, but you can't put tweets out like that. Bear, I work with you, son. Don't. Come on,
Bear.
I don't expect Anti to know better, so that's fine. That's fine. He doesn't know the economics of running an event and all this other stuff. Like he shouldn't know better, right? All he's looking about at his bottom line is like, damn, I wish I got paid as much as
as Mango.
As Mango or as other pros in other games, right? He's looking at the Street Fighter E-League Invitational. He's like, dude, we're not smaller than them, right? Like in terms of viewership, why don't we get that, right? And I can answer you in in exactly one word, but it's not going to solve the problem.
You're hitting the soft spots of me. You almost went there.
Well, even still, it's not like it was even that bad. I think it's hard for everyone to remember that we have so many events. Like, basically, if you guys just want to talk about like how players are actually doing in Smash Brothers, we have a top level who is actually doing quite well, and actually doing quite considerably better than almost any other person in the tier 2 of esports, right? Like, when I say tier 2 of esports, I say Dota, CS, and Dota, Counter-Strike, and League of Legends are the tier 1, right? We don't mess with them. We're not doing even close to them as well as them in any department, right? Like viewership, monetization, no matter what we do, we're not doing better than that, right? Period. Right? But other games where we have more comparable viewership to, yeah, our players are actually doing they're not doing that bad. When you combine streaming, player salaries, some of the pots they've been able to wrangle. And we've been going out of our way to give them these third-party opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. Like we've been trying to find outside influences which had the funding to give them more sustainability, give them higher pots and stuff. What's hard to see is that, okay, there's a 25 grand tournament here, there's a 30 grand tournament here, there's a 10 grand pot bonus tournament here, whatever. But that doesn't sound like much, right? But there's so many tournaments, and there's so many overall events to be able to go to that our long tail is actually pretty good. Being the 70th best player in Smash Brothers is a ton better than being the 70th best player in Street Fighter. It's not even close, right? It's not even close. If you're the 70th best player in Smash Brothers, you're winning your locals, right? You're going out there and you're farming, I don't know, Boston or whatever. You're making some money by doing that a little bit, right? Doesn't sound like much, but if you're the 70th best player in Street Fighter, you're doing nothing. You're literally doing nothing. Their local scene has collapsed ever since Capcom Pro Tour, right? With the exception of a few events, like occasional Wednesday night fights and Next Level, the local scene is extraordinarily small in comparison. So that is better, and we have a top level that's doing quite well, right? There's a tier of people who would compare to their counterparts in other games maybe aren't doing as well. That's true. But the fact that we're competitive with other games in terms of prizing when we don't have pub dev support, when we don't have major sponsorships, is actually bonkers, right? That we can actually keep up sometimes, and that we're even in the game, and that, by the way, also the way our compensation has slowed down, we're not so dependent on a single tournament result, right? You know what's more stressful? When you have to win the Halo World Championship or whatever in order to make any money on the year, right? When that is your tournament. And guess what? There's not another tournament for another 3 months. And unless you win that or do well in that, you're not eating bread, right? You know what's nicer? When you have a nice player salary and you have a ton of locals you can farm, and that every single weekend isn't so stressful because there's another tournament the next weekend, right? We've mitigated that type of stress from players. So it's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's really not.
It's
right?
not so bad. It's not
so bad. I will say, now if we do it from the other stakeholder department, start with commentators, our casters are paid worse than literally every other esport. I mean, you go down to like the 14th biggest esport, they're bigger. You go down to Smite, they make more money. World of Tanks casters make more money. Fucking Here's the Storm casters make more money. Street Fighter casters make more money. There is not a commentator like in any game ever, even if it's small, that doesn't make more money. Pokemon commentators make more money, right? Like all of them make more money. Like literally, I could probably go down to the 20th biggest esport. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know if it is. I don't even know if there's 20 esports, but they make more money, right? And similarly, on the TL landscape, they don't even make money. They lose money 90% of the time. So what are we talking about right now? Like, and you go down by stakeholder, you're content creators, right? You think Papa Paint and the content creators are eating well? You think the streamers, how are they doing, right? Is it better to be a production crew for Riot or for Overwatch League or for Heroes of Storm? Or is it better to be production crew for Smash Brothers? You tell me, man. Like, come on, man. Relative to our size and relative to our investment, we're pushing all of the money towards the players, and we have been for a while. Like, we don't have more money to give to them. It's just what else do you want? Come on.
Yahoo's nice.
That was nice.
I like Yahoo. Anyway, point taken.
Point taken. Dang, that's not a lot of rants. I didn't think I was even gonna do that many. You want to do Q&A? Action pack show.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like you yelled at me like you're my dad or something, and you're like, "Let's go for ice cream."
Let's go for ice cream. Let's go for ice cream.
All right. There's 15 questions that.
All right, let's go.
For CC, what are your thoughts on the viability and legality of a theoretical controller that uses a touchpad in place of an analog stick, like the Steam controller? It could eliminate snapback, but would it simply be too imprecise for a high-level play? And would it even be legal?
Touchpad. That sounds like it'd be terrible. Am I crazy? That sounds so bad. No, that would be legal. I would make it illegal. You guys already know my answer, but that sounds pretty funny.
That sounds awful. I feel like I can't draw straight lines consistently.
I love that question just because it's funny. But, like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, can we at least play with it a little bit first? But the true answer is probably banned. But Dope Project, if you want to make that kind of sounds fun. I just know that, like, I know a mouse is different, but, like, you could probably play Melee with it on your laptop, right? You could probably map things to your mouse and try to see how it feels. But I'm guessing it's so bad that, like, even if it was illegal, why does it matter? Like, it's just so that would be so bad. It just sounds really bad.
All right. Well, there you have it. If SFAT won CEO Dreamland, would he be ahead of Plup in the rankings?
If SFAT won CEO Dreamland, would be yes. I want to say. Am I wrong in saying yes, Tafo?
I would give it to him.
Yeah, right. Like, that's like a historic win. I know, you know, you maybe list out his wins and losses in comparison, and you could debate, but I think an event win is a big deal.
3 God wins on top of that too.
Yeah, it'd be a big deal. 3 God wins, you know, straight up winning an event, like that's a pretty big deal. We haven't had much data yet. It's only April, right? So realize, guys, when we say he'd be ranked higher, we're talking about January through April,
like
right?
power ranking style.
Power ranking style.
I guess.
So. I don't think he might not be a better player in my eyes. I think Club might take him to perform better at the next tournament, but I think power in terms of performance, he would get the nod.
What does Mewtwo King have to do to pass HBox this year? Not get 9th place at an event and consistently place like top 3 or better.
Sounds about right. Yeah. He has to keep placing well.
Is Mango going to win DreamHack Austin? Yes.
Is Mango going to win DreamHack Austin? I hope so, dude. I hope so for your job's sake.
Hey, I had a meeting with the big boys at C9 last week.
All right.
Do you think Mango and Leffen will actually show up to teams at DreamHack Austin?
I hope, dude. I really hope so. I don't know if I'm going for teams. I know that sounds so weird because I love teams, but I think that Friday, DreamHack is flying me and Toph out for Saturday, Sunday, or something. So.
I've heard they're very strange about that. Like one time they brought in casters for DreamHack and they flew them back home before the Twitch party for whatever reason.
Trying to save that money, bro.
I guess so.
Oh, dude, does that mean I missed the Twitch party?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, can I just rebook with your Twitch? God, come on, man.
Can't you say it's a work experience?
I hope that doesn't mean I'm gonna check my itinerary, but if it makes me miss a Twitch party, we're beefing.
That's what happened to some casters last year.
I would we're beefing. I hope it's. I haven't even looked at my itinerary, so I don't know if it's true. But if it's true, we're beefing. Anyways, continue.
What happened to Westballs? What is he ranked currently?
Oh boy, my man's out there losing to Mike Hayes right now. My man's out there losing locals right now.
He's somehow losing to like every Fox.
My man's out there losing the one matchup that made him like a top 10 player. The storyline behind Wes as a player gets really bad if he's bad against Fox. Because all of a sudden you're looking at him and be like, well, at least he's good against Falcon. And you don't know what else to say.
But he's not even invincible against Falcon anymore.
Yeah, Johnny could beat him, man.
And none beat him this year.
Yeah, so, I don't know. He's in a little bit of a slump. I love my boy. as you know, me and Weston share a special bond. We're like really good friends, so I always root for him. But he's in a little bit of a slump. He's in a slump, and in terms of his ranking, it's so low we don't want to say it because it hurts to say.
15-ish.
Here's a question: for him to be 15, you legitimately have to be putting him that high almost entirely because of his last year performance. See, he's done like nothing this year.
Really?
Like, what has he done? You'd have to be putting him above players who are clearly like outperforming him to do that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he got seventh at Genesis.
You have to go back to Genesis. That's true. But I mean, that's a long time ago now. Tafa, why are you typing? Yeah, we talked about this before.
Because the stream is asking if Mango registered, and I'm really worried because I just logged into his Smash GG account, and it's really weird right now.
Oh, well, that's not a good sign.
Anyway.
Anyway, next question. Guys, if you don't know, ask.fm/Tafrikans. You guys put the link out in the chat. That's where you submit your questions. We only take questions from Ask FM. The chat goes too fast, so make sure to submit from that.
Do you like Sonic's in-your-face attitude or Mario's gentle demeanor?
Next question.
Mainly because that's not Melee related, because Sonic's in the question. What are the chances Armada doesn't lose a set at DreamHack Austin? I'd say like 80%.
Wow, you just hate the field. You think... Did you just say 5 seconds ago that Mango's going to win?
Yeah.
You love that 20. You love that 20%.
I love that 20, man.
You love that 20. You make love to that 20%.
I make love. I already have a kid with it.
Okay. That's an interesting way to put it. So, yeah. I'm not going to say you're right, because that's absurd. That's a high percent. Who's going?
In theory, Leffen, Mango, Hungrybox, Pluff, Vita King.
Oh, no, you're wrong. Come on, 80 is too high.
70? 60?
That's no. It's like 40, 50. People can beat him in one set. There's a lot of gods going, man. He might. I mean, his percentage of winning the tournament's really high, but not losing a set at all.
Yeah, that's right. 50 to 60 sounds about right. It's kind of funny because
Armada's nuts.
It's pretty funny because it's funny because a lot of people think because Armada's the hypothetical first seed, right? Once you get past like having 4 gods at a tournament, having like more than that doesn't really make a difference in Armada's chances of winning. Because for the next best player that will play Armada in winners is going to be the 8th seed. And is there an 8th seed that can really beat Armada?
I don't know. We'll see it. It's theoretically possible.
It's theoretically, but point being is that if you have the 4 best players in the world and then you toss in like 4 to 12 additional really good players on top of that, it doesn't really affect Armada's chances of winning.
I mean, until they do it, right?
Until they do it.
Let's not pretend like he's like non-human or something. It's like it could happen.
I'm starting to suspect that he actually is.
All right, next question. Armada's pretty good. That's the lesson you guys got out of that question.
Is it possible SFAT reaches top 3 this year?
Ooh.
I mean, he would really have to, in theory, outperform Mango.
He can outperform Mango based on what's going on right now.
And Leffen?
That was the harder one.
Leffen's a harder one, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of it's going to come down to the super majors and what type of brackets both players have. Like, what if Leffen runs into Duck?
He'd have to, yeah, exactly. He'd have to outperform Mewtwo too.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about Mewtwo.
That one seems pretty.
I think the Mewtwo
improbable.
one's actually going to be harder than the Leffen, like in just terms of like consistency.
So I think it's extraordinarily improbable for him to be top 3 by the end of the year. But I do think top 5 is in his reach.
Yeah. Man,
I
like,
think it's a pretty big jump.
why can't Zach just win CO Dreamland?
Yeah. I mean, guys, it's not impossible for him to become top 3 by end of year. Matter of fact, it's not impossible for him to become best in the world by end of year. It's not. The skill difference between him and the best player in the world is not so absurd that
It
a
is
human being
absurd.
couldn't.
I'm going to totally disagree with you.
I do agree. Okay, I take it back. It is absurd in the sense that Armada is freaking incredible, but the caveat is that everyone who's ever become best in the world has made that jump in less time, right?
I think he could do up to number 2, but number 2 is like a 1% scenario.
Let's put it this way: if a Mango or Armada level talent were at some hypothetical point in time, they were a top 10 player in the world, right? In their careers, it didn't take them when they were top 10. They were able to jump from top 10 to best in the world, like within a year. Like that's possible.
Yeah, but we also have to take into account that when Armada and Mango came in, like all the old guard or the majority of them effectively retired.
Yeah, so that helped them out, right? Like,
Yeah.
is that,
so it was a mix of really good circumstance, too.
That's a good point.
Like
That's a good point.
when you have everyone so well established, it's like.
Well, what about PPMD's rise?
PPMD's rise was like 2-3 years. If you really, I mean, there's
not
like
from when he became a top 10 player in the world.
pound 4.
When do you think he became a top 10 player in the world?
At any point in time, did we think
it happened pretty fast? It happened pretty fast.
Yeah, but pound. It was like probably a little after pound 4, right? But he wasn't.
PPMD moved from being a top 10 player in the world to being a top 3 player in the world so fast. It's hard to pinpoint when he ever was a top 10 player in the world. You know what I'm saying? For PP, it happened super fast, and there was an established echelon.
It was like a year and a half. I mean, there weren't as many events, so the time frame was a little bit longer. Like
a little bit skewed. But no, he moved up real fast, right? Like, it's possible.
Is this going to be the craziest Summer of Smash?
I think. Oh, is that the question?
Yeah.
I hope so, man.
Dude,
it's always exciting.
My benchmark for that is 2014.
2014 was hype.
2014 was amazing.
We had MLG, KOC, Evo, CEO.
Skatar 3 topped things off, kinda.
Skatar 3. I believe we also had an FC that year.
We did.
And we had one more. Did we have What the Fox in 2014?
No,
that was 2015. And then we had one more. I don't know.
No, but it was a pretty fire summer. Oh man, that was such a good.
That's
summer.
A pretty fire summer.
We had that salty suite at Kings of Cali where we were just in that like cool area with Red Bull everywhere.
Shoot, that was dope, man.
So 2014 is a benchmark. Can Plub 2K win DreamHack Austin teams? I say yes.
Who are they playing against?
Are Armada and Android going?
I don't know. Leffen Mango. There's Leffen Mango. There's
Chewin' Chillin'. SCJ Shroomed.
Is PFAT going?
No, SFAT was looking for a partner. Armada's going, and I assume because Armada and Mutaking aren't teaming. Are Armada and Mutaking teaming? No, Armada and Mutaking aren't. Armada and Android going?
But yes, according to the chat, Armada and Android are going.
Yeah.
In that case, Armada and Android probably are the heavy favorites.
Are they?
People are saying PewFat are going.
No, PewFat's not going.
Are you sure?
Because SFAT's looking for a partner.
Why isn't Pew going?
I don't know. Pew thinks.
Okay.
ESAM H-Box? I guess that's like that's Poverty Plug.
Poverty H-Box Club. Oh, I hate to do ESAM like that, but that's just the truth.
He hasn't even been playing Melee, so I'm going to call him Poverty Plug until he proves me otherwise.
How was H-Box? Okay, never mind. I'm just not going to say it.
Why? How the mighty have fallen?
How the mighty have fallen, dude. I remember when that guy was winning teams tournaments. What? All right. Now no one wants to team with him, so he's got ESAM. Is that what happened? Maybe they want to team with each other. I don't know.
Man, there's a high school prom analogy somewhere in here right now.
No one invited him to the school dance.
I don't know what it is, but somebody in the chat could probably think of a good copy pasta about this. I'm looking forward to putting them on the spot and their creativity and their hive mind to think of something great in regards to Hungrybox having to team with ESAM.
I feel like we could go down a very... there's so many jokes that we could make about this.
So, okay, let's run this analogy through. I actually want to run the course.
I almost feel bad because this is a rich topic right here.
So ESAM was the loudest player at DreamHack Austin rooting for Hungrybox. So is ESAM that local high school girl that was always there for Hungrybox, the high school sweetheart? Hungrybox goes to college, explores the life, parties around, finds some really good-looking women, and then he realizes, these women don't feel and understand me. I'm gonna go back to my high school.
It's like that Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
ESAM was there all along.
He was.
And he doesn't wear short skirts.
Or t-shirts.
Or t-shirts. You know? He's sitting in the bleachers, and he's been waiting this whole time. So
at some point, Hungrybox forgot he existed. Everybody forgot that he existed. Okay, anyway, we killed it.
All right. Okay.
Are you saving Kings of Cali 5 for PPMD?
Sure.
All right, cool. Where are SoCal's Marts?
SoCal's Mars died when I left, dude.
And Ken had hand injuries.
Do you remember the era where I was called SoCal's Best Marth in a non-ironic way? Do you remember that era?
Those were dark times.
Those were dark times. Those were great times. The non-ironic terms.
And that's why all our players lose to Marts, and why we suck ass as a region.
That was the slick era, dude. I was ooh.
You know, if you were actually better, I wouldn't lose to a Marth at every big house.
Tafo.
That's a tradition at Big House. I lose to a Martha every time.
You know who I miss? Shepard Lima. Fiction.
Shepard Lima.
Fiction was so good, man.
He was good.
God, I love him too. I just don't like him as a person. I miss him. I haven't hung out with Shep. Oh, I love Shep.
He's funny in an ironic, unaware way.
He's so cool. I love hanging out with him in tournaments. I miss Shepard Lima. Next question.
Why didn't we talk about Smash rivalries?
Oh, we didn't have that last. I guess we did. Okay, it was just a little while ago. Wizrope Craigasm and Tafo being wrong, Craigasm.
Damn.
And
Yahoo loved everything. We're gonna have more Craigasm.
You gotta leave it a little bit to suspense, Tafo. I know you're not used to this TOing thing. This
I like to blow my load instantly, man.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Save it for the trailer, dude. Jeez.
And this time we won't have only 2 weeks to plan and announce it.
Okay, Tapo. Tapo, don't blow your load.
Okay, fine. I'll save it.
I'm not trying to have the show be taken down for another time.
When's the next SSS?
Well, there's an Arcadian next week, I think. That's gonna be huge. You guys should watch the SoCal Arcadian.
Is that the same weekend as
Austin? Yeah, that's why it's an Arcadian. And then the next month we're gonna do something. I don't know. Look at the page. There's stuff. Sometime in May is the answer.
I'm from Washington State, and recently a couple local smashers created this website, ranking every player based off tournaments in Washington and keeping track of head-to-heads. Do you think more regions will start doing this, and is it good? Here's the link. I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Can you link me that Heroku app? Huh? Let me see this. I don't think I've seen this. The link's not working for me.
Wait, it's not?
No.
All right, I'm gonna take off the end.
It's not working. I don't know if it's working for you.
I think we hugged it to death.
Sick with website, bro.
Only the front page loads. There's like coding issues with extensions and stuff.
So can't answer your question because we can't get to the website.
It's actually pretty cool.
So. Well, can you get to it?
Yeah, I got to it. It just doesn't do anything once I land on the main page.
I got not found.
We viewer hugged it.
I guess we're too many people or something.
Yeah, our chat's just that booming, man.
We're just too hot right now.
If Mango isn't registered...
Oh, man, it just worked for me.
Okay, cool.
Oh, snap. There's like...
Yeah, I think we're... So what I suspect is happening is that the main page is loading some query, and we all killed the server that's run on.
Oh, so it's just not quoted efficiently.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Know your SQL, bruh. Maybe that's it. I don't want to make exceptions. The point is, this is hot.
I like it. Yeah, more regions should do it. Where's Gar?
This is sick. Hey, whoever made this, hit me with the DM. Someone connect me with this person. I like this.
I'm pretty sure the code's transferable to other regions very easily.
Yo, whoever made this, let's have a conversation. And why are you making stuff like this without having a conversation? Because this shit is sick.
Because they want to make a viable product before they show it to the Grandmaster Blur.
All right, Defo. Calm down.
Dude, I'm stroking your ego.
I know, you're doing too much.
Okay, fine. Blur, you're the worst month ever.
Even have limits. Okay. Now, see, once again, you're going too far. Next question.
Oh, speaking of, I'm going to self-promote myself. So I'm going to post a link in the page. And I added a module that called Tournament Data yesterday. So you select a player, and then you click the Tournament Data tab, and you click the tournament. Although I need to still account for DQs and order the progression of matches better, but you'll see a player's tournament history.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, next question.
My plug. If Mango isn't registered for DreamHack Austin, which he is, which we confirmed already, are you afraid he's going to get a call from Jack? No, because he's already signed out. All right, next question. Why is Armada the greatest doubles and singles player to touch the game? I'm guessing this is Armada is the GOAT from Reddit.
Next question. Armada's good, man. We got this. We've already told you guys a million times he's pretty good. Next question.
What do you think about Mango and Leffen teaming at Austin?
It could be good. They're not going to win. Maybe they will. They can win, I guess. Why not? I definitely 180 in like 5 seconds thinking about it.
I mean, we thought we counted out Mango and Lucky for a while, right? And look at what they did.
Yeah, sure, man. Leffen's hella good, and so's Mango. They could do it.
Let's.
Four Left Mango. Four Left Mango is a great name. They could win. They could win. It actually could be the sickest thing ever. I think it's actually super hype. And I'm actually pissed that they didn't fly me out for doubles now. Because that sounds hype. That's actually crazy hype. All right, what's next? Any other questions left?
We have a handful. What happened to KOC? And can we expect it back in the foreseeable future?
I've done some exploration about it. If I'm being honest with the chat, it costs a lot of money. I'm afraid of losing money. As I explained in the chat, in the stream earlier, tournaments cost an extraordinary amount of money when done by an individual operator. I'm not really the type to ask for crowdsourcing or crowdfunding, KOC or something like that, but every honest estimation I make as a TO when I want to build the product I want to make KOC to be, it ends up costing too much money. Like it doesn't make sense. Now a lot of that's because I want it to be what I want it to be, and not like I just pick a cheap venue and go. So maybe that's on me, but whatever. If it's not a banger, I don't really want to host it. So if I ever do it, understand that I found some crazy deal, or I've just gotten frustrated enough that I decided that I'm okay with losing potentially a lot of money. But that's the number one reason, because I'm honest with the chat. That's the honest number one reason. Number two reason is because I'm really busy. So like I explained earlier in the stream, I spend a lot of time already on Smash Brothers, and adding KOC onto that pile is a ton. Especially when I'm spending, like, again, a ton of time like simply making sure the Smash Bros house doesn't burn down, and we have content every weekend. So if KOC died so that we can have a ton of other stuff. So it's not so bad, guys.
Blur's a martyr.
So I actually really want that event's too important. I understand that's really important for Melee and Smash in general for KOC to exist. Like it would do very well, right? Like it would be a very large viewership event. It's hard for me, hypocritical for me to say, oh, I really wish for some of these other brands to be back when KOC isn't there, but I legit don't have I don't have the support. Like it's just me doing Smash, you know, like for hours and hours, and it's hard for me to put time into that. And forgetting that, like, I don't want to lose money, man. So that's just the real talk.
Who would win in a team set between Armada and HBox and Mango and Mewtwo? I would have to say easily Mango and Mewtwo.
Armada, HBox, and Mango and Mewtwo? Easily. There's never a time where you say the word easily when Armada's on one side.
I think the more interesting team would be Armada, Mewtwo, and HBox Mango.
No, because that's super one-sided.
Why is that one-sided?
Armada Mewtwo wins.
Really?
Yeah.
What team combo do you?
You literally just put the two best team players on the same team.
Yeah, but what character is Armada gonna go?
I don't know. Peach Sheik.
Really?
Peach Sheik.
Against Puff?
Yeah, they'll still win. He's going to destroy Mango. Well, HBox is floating around. They'll be fine.
I think it'll be
even if he goes Fox, he's fine. They'll just win. I think the other question is more interesting.
Yeah.
Armada, HBox versus
Armada and HBox don't have the power of friendship.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mango Mewtwo King too, but I don't think it's that.
I've seen Mango and Mewtwo King like in friendlies, and it's not pretty for the other team ever.
Yeah.
Can we get Torchy's tacos at DreamHack? I'll pay, and the tacos are amazing. LOL. Also, how can we improve the monetization at grassroots tournaments? Says Matthew Reed.
Can you say that again? Sorry, I missed it.
Can we get Torchy's tacos at DreamHack? I'll pay, and the tacos are amazing. LOL.
Well, I already heard that one. I'm saying the one. I heard the tacos thing. What was
how can we improve monetization at grassroots tournaments?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. There's a lot there. So I think the biggest mistake that grassroots TOs make is they think that sponsors are going to bail them out, right? When in reality, and as I explained multiple times in the stream, the reality is that big brands have a hard time getting into Smash Brothers because of our lack of licensing, and it's always going to be a continual problem until we beat that hurdle. And sure, you can get a few local brands in, but the amount of revenue you can pull from that is probably not going to exceed 10K. And if you actually look at the statistics of Smash Brothers, and the sponsorships that have been brought in, you laugh at how few have actually resulted in any substantial yield for the event organizer. There's been pretty much no event which has more than 5% of its revenue from sponsorship. So I think from an outside perspective, you look at all these brands on a competing event or on another event's stream, and you say, "Oh man, I want that. That's gonna help me," right? But the reality is, that's actually not that much money, and it's actually not the gold mine you're probably looking for. It's nice to say, it's easy to say, but it's usually generally a misconception. They think that's going to save them. I wouldn't go that way. Similarly, so I'm going to first talk about avenues that we don't have, right? Broadcast rights is also another one. We can't go around and sell TV rights or again, we don't have license. So those are two major avenues that are gone. So what's left for us? We have, in terms of the general sporting ecosystem and what we have available to us. We already kind of crowdfunding and we already do ticket sales. I think there's a lot of optimization in ticket sales. For the most part, we don't do catering, and catering is actually a large moneymaker that we could have. You go to a baseball game, people buy hot dogs, people buy burgers, people buy whatever. This is a big deal. This gets them a lot of money, right? And for most events, don't even touch that area. I think vendor space is a big deal. Sell vendor space at your events. It will make a difference, right? And similarly, going for other event types that bring in a larger audience that are not just the competitors, and therefore optimizing your ticket sales is a big deal. So like what Super Smash Con does with bringing in music and panels and things like that, which then attract a wider audience, and then they're able to sell to families and things like that. I think that's a big deal through local advertising. I think that merchandising, there's a lot of potential opportunities there, right, that are still untapped. Merchandising is a huge untapped resource. People love Smash stuff, and they will pay for it, right? And I think the biggest thing we haven't cracked is exactly how do we monetize viewership. The honest truth is, every problem we discussed right now could be solved with one simple thing, and it's a thing we never want to do, right? And that thing is if we put a paywall to all of our streams, right? And if we did that, we would monetize immediately, right? We just talked about all these problems we have, and guess what? They'd be solved in 5 seconds if we just put a paywall on everything. If Genesis had a paywall, yes, only 10%, maybe 20% of people would pay for it. But guess what? Genesis would have multiple X of the money in total, right? If 10% of the total people who watch Genesis pay for it, then they might make like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like a lot more money than they bring in right now, through any other avenue, right? So that would change a lot, but I don't think we ever want to do it because we're thinking about the growth of the game and we're thinking about the long term, right? So we're worried about taking that step, but that would be one way. But there's other ways that potentially we can think about how do we monetize the broadcast better, right? What about making sub packages for our tournaments? Like, what if there are actual benefits? Like maybe we can explore using Twitch products better, right? What if there's some cool stuff? Like we did a little experiment at Evo with bits. Maybe there's something more there. Maybe there's things with donations we can do. I don't know. But the point is that the key thing that we really have to figure out is how to monetize that broadcast, and I think that's also a big missing hole. So those are the things I'd focus on for TOs. And again, the thing that unfortunately most TOs spend way too much time on and worrying about is they end up spending that same time on worrying about sponsors when it's actually a very small percentage of the pie in terms of our potential, and they worry about things like broadcast rights or whatever when we can't even sell those anyways. And they don't look at the other monetization options available to them, right? So I think that's how I would change that dynamic.
Well, there you go.
Yep. Think about that stuff.
Do we think Plup will have a positive record against the gods this year? I say he hovers around 40, which is not bad.
Oh, that's if he hovers around 40, he is a god. Way I look at it. Because isn't that like there's been years when all the other gods have been around that percentage.
Like there was like 1 year where like Mango, PP, Armada were like 70, and the other 3 were like 30.
Usually, we only inundate someone in that tier of players when they win an event. So he kind of needs to win an event to really be there, like kind of like Leffen did.
Yeah.
But in terms of win rate, he wouldn't look very different from that.
Yeah, he wouldn't. And he needs to beat Armada.
Yeah.
Who would we seed higher at DreamHack for doubles? Plup and Mutiking or Leffen and Mango? I'll give it to Plup and Mutiking because they won an event. So, yeah. Be close.
Mm-hmm.
If Wizrobe faces Armada in bracket, Wizrobe is going to surprise a lot of people. Is Falcon better than Peach usually? I'm going to assume that's a head-to-head. Okay. Well, if you think he's going to surprise people, then go for it. What are SFET's odds of taking a set off of Armada? Presumably a best of 5. 10%? 5%? 5%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it goes higher than 5% at a best of 5.
So people are talking about the paywall topic I said. And then, like I said, as you guys can tell, I'm not advocating for that because what I care about is growth. What I am saying is that it would work. It is literally illogical to say it wouldn't work. I know you guys are saying there's going to be piracy streams, blah, 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 but literally the TOs are making like no money off the broadcast. As in, they're making basically zero, right?
Yeah.
So even if 10 people buy a $10 package to watch Big House for the weekend, they make more money than they're making right now. So yes, it would work. The answer is yes, it would work. It would be terrible for us long term, but yes, it would work. Of course it would work. Of course it would work.
But if there was value in it, then...
Now imagine if we did something crazy like we bundled up all of our tournaments and we said $10 for the year to watch Smash Brothers. That would work too. But again, I think in an esports realm where everything is free and all the other like esports are free, we'd be crippling ourselves terribly. And I would never want to go down that path. I don't think that money's worth it, personally, right? But I do see an argument for it, right? If the argument for it is, hey, that brings so much sustainability that therefore more events can exist and therefore better productions can exist and that budget can be used for making this and that improvement and therefore, you know, it means so much, then yeah, that could be an argument. It's not a bad argument. I just happen to disagree because I think that growth is more important. It's what you make. It's a traditional decision you make in a company, right? Are you going for growth or are you optimizing for revenue, right? Startups make that decision all the time. Startups often optimize for growth instead of for revenue because they're saying we're a new company, we need to grow, and so we take investment money, we go negative for years, and then at the hope of eventually making revenue with this growth and this audience that we built up, right? And when you're optimizing for revenue for a more established company, let's say an oil company, they're often optimizing for revenue. They're not thinking about growth as much as revenue growth, right? When they say growth, they often mean revenue growth. They don't mean exposure growth or whatever the fuck, or growing your business out in some other way. Then you do that. And if we were optimizing for revenue growth, yes, we would do pay-per-view. Absolutely. It wouldn't even be a question. And we would paywall our VODs too. We would paywall a ton of stuff. And we DMCA every single piracy stream. We would do that. That's something we would do. Then, honestly, we might get shut down by Nintendo because we're monetizing too highly. So who knows?
Yeah.
If we do that and we're starting to make millions of dollars, then I don't even know. I don't know what happens. It'd be weird. Right? Like, is that cool? Like, the only reason we exist is because we're not making that much money. Let's make that clear.
It's like the ultimate catch-22.
Yeah, like, what are we? If we suddenly find this amazing formula for making millions of dollars off the Smash Brothers IP, we're gonna all of a sudden, yeah, they're gonna be hunky dory with that. They won't want a piece. Like, all right, whatever you say, man. That's generally not how it works.
All right. Can we talk about the fact that Plup got 5th with Luigi, including beating MTK Sheik? We did talk about it a lot. So we will move on. Are there any chances that the rules of Melee or anything relating to the way tournaments work could change a bit to mix things up a bit? Or are you TOs not thinking about that at all right now?
I mean, I think the timer stuff, like Royal Flush experiment with 7 minutes, I think that's one thing people are thinking about. I know that's something I advocated for us to at least experiment with. I mean, that's a very minor rule set change. I'll be honest. I think the main things we're looking at are not like the core gameplay rules. But rather the stuff that's around it, like how do we make more ladders and more better formats for engagement and give people more matches for a tournament. Like if you look at the Training Mode Tuesday instructional video, I think that's honestly, now that we've run it a few times, and Taffel, you can speak to it yourself. So it's not coming from a biased source, but the reception we've gotten and honestly the pure numbers behind it tells me it is an optimal. It is a far better weekly format than is being currently done in many other regions, right? So things like that, I think, are format changes that we can look forward to. But I don't think like changing the legal stage list and stuff. Most people aren't really thinking about that right now, or changing the formats drastically, right? Like crews, singles, doubles. That's kind of what we got, at least right now. We haven't really putting on items and stuff. It's people just don't care. It's been 16 years. We like what we're doing. It's the honest truth. It might be wrong, but I actually think it's probably right.
Mango gives you a shout out.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like Crimson Blur Craigasm.
Why?
I don't know, because you're the Crimson Blur.
I just randomly said that?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Oh, shit. What's up, Mango?
Hey, when is the Dream Team commentary coming back?
Next time it's available. I think we could have done it at one tournament. I felt like at Frame Perfect because he. All right, I'm not gonna bring it up, but it was possible, and I don't know why I didn't have it. It could have happened.
Mango's mad at you now. You blew it.
I'm sorry, dude. But we should do it. We should do it sometime. It's always fun.
Oh no. What do I really do when it comes to coaching Mango? Have you guys seen actual improvement? I think everything went well until Summit, where wobbling happened in Nightmares of Yeahs. But I'd say the first 2 months have been really well. We usually meet about once a week. Speaking of which, Mango, if you're in the chat, I'm going to swing by tomorrow. Thanks. Mostly it's just him. I mean, it's me just asking him questions, exploring his headspace to see where he's at in regards to different situations and different matchups, and just us talking about it, and then us just kind of working from there. I know a lot of people are in for my head, which is understandable, but we will kick ass this summer. So, yeah. I'm going to come by and just say what's up and just check up on events for you.
Q. Okay. Next question.
If Armada loses to less than a top 6, will he have to wear chains for the rest of the year? No.
No. But that non-top 6 member will probably be chronically overrated for the whole year just because of that one win.
Yeah, imagine
expect that. Expect that. If Smash God won or Johnny won, people would say Johnny's like a top 10 player like for the rest of the year. The rest wouldn't even matter.
But he would just have Armada.
He beat Armada, like so top 10. And you know what? I'd have a hard time arguing against it. I'm not going to argue against Johnny being top 10. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Oh no, Mango. Is there going to be a Esports Arena Smash tournament this year?
There's been a ton. There's been more events in that one venue than like anywhere else.
I'm guessing he's referring to Melee.
There's SSSs all the time, and there's TMTs every week. There's tons of tournaments there. There's Wednesday night fights there too. Like, there's like 3 Melee tournaments a week there, dude. So.
I'm so happy I gave Mango mod shit. You go. Is Mango Juice 2 going to happen this year? You guys should go to Mango's stream and donate to him to see what kind of answer he gives you. Mango soon is the answer I hear.
Hashtag Mango soon.
Do we think ESAM and HBox are going to get top 8 in teams?
Is there 7 other good teams?
I think they make it.
They make it by default.
Yeah.
Is the honest answer.
Is Mario's hat best red, or would Sonic's in your face blue? Who is this guy? Alright, anyway. I'm gonna skip these Mario Sonic questions. If one item was allowed to be turned on during a tournament set, what item would you like to see implemented?
Oh man, that's a hard question.
I know it would probably not be kosher, but I would love to see Pokeballs.
No, that's not. That Pokeballs are too random. There's a lot of skill to like the bat, right?
Yeah.
Like bat drop combos, like a lot of that. That'd be crazy.
How about window thing?
What's window thing?
Bumpers.
That thing is broken. You can throw people, like throw it out and then like edge guard with it. It like covers every option.
Green shell. Green shell.
Green shell would be interesting because like you could position it and like it can also they could be used against you. Like, what about Bunny Hood? Bunny Hood would be like Melee on crack.
I would not like Bunny Hood.
Bunny Hood, Fox would be like. How do you react in there?
You just spam down smash and hope you trade.
Nice.
Do players play better in jerseys or in a light cloth?
I don't know, dude. Next question.
You don't even want this question, man. I'll read it anyway. Do you remember when Blur said "mouth is coming"? That was great. Can you ask him to say it again?
Mountain's coming.
I'm sorry, man.
I said it again.
No. I'm reading the next question. Is Mango gonna keep doing horrible? No. Is Mango playing Falco and doubles better than Mango playing Fox and doubles? It depends on matchup.
Depends on teammate, yeah, and matchup.
I think when you have Fox, the issue that Mango will tell you is that he can't kill his Falco, so if they need kill power, he goes Fox, and that's why he uses it. But if he trusts the Fox to get kills, like Leffen just spamming up smash and it somehow hitting everybody, then he can go Falco and support and add damage.
Mm-hmm.
What has made Chudat a top 10 player recently? I know he has one of the strongest legacies in Smash, but what changed in the last few months to go from top 25 to arguably top 10?
To quote Mango, he's beat up a washed up Mango. Oh no.
I mean, he said it himself. Okay. So he has losses.
I mean, it's a big deal. The Mango wins are a big reason why people are saying it.
Okay, if we exclude the top 6 players, Plop, Leffen, Mutaking, Mango, $100 in Armada, he's 1-0 on SFAT, 1-0 on Axe, 1-0 on Shroomed, split with Wizzy, 1-0 on S2J, lost to Drug Fox. It's a pretty good resume. Like, when you look at his resume against 7 to 20-ish, he's 5-2.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. And then you toss into 2 Mango wins.
Well, it's hard for us to say why. The honest truth is like, it's probably just him paying attention and trying more, and like trying to be good again. Like, you guys have to understand, choose a top 25 player by like default. He could like not really play the game, go to a tournament and do well. Like, that's the kind of guy we're talking about. And I know this because I was with him. This guy's just absurdly talented, right? And has done it for long enough that he's always going to be good.
Yeah,
When
actually,
he starts going to more events and doing better, like and building on it, like it's of course he's gonna. He's one of the greatest players of all time. Like it's not a surprise.
um, I talked to Chu in the I did like a 5 to 10 minute interview with each player to get sound bites for the tournament, for like the crew battle stuff. The big thing that he told me was like because he plays ice climbers. This is in his words. I'm not trying to bash ice climbers. He's like, I don't need tech skill. Like I just need to learn how to wobble and chain grab, and because I have that, and I don't need to be very technical. Like all I need to focus on is mind games, and figuring out what people's patterns are. And he's
There
good
you
at
have
that. So,
There you have it.
what about Mewtwo King Mango versus Armada Leffen? What do we think about it?
That's a tough one. I want to say,
See, Mewtwo King
so
Mango, although they
Mewtwo King Mango would be Fox Sheik,
Fox Sheik versus,
Peach Fox.
I think double Fox Rex Fox Sheik.
No, they would go with Peach Fox.
They would go Peach Fox for like the stability, but Mewtwo King Mango, like although they openly make fun of each other, have the power of friendship.
Sure, dude.
Would that be
Could argue with each other. That could be a thing. So I don't know. Yeah, that's a crazy team. I would love to see it. That sounds really close and amazing.
What's our top 10? The bottom half of it: Flip, Mango, SFAT, Axe, Wizzy, Chew.
Yeah, that would be a list. My flip Wizzy and Chew. I'd probably flip Wizzy and Chew.
Is Plup ahead of Mango?
Right now he is. Yes.
Is he though?
For the first year, I think so, right?
No.
I mean, yes, Mango got second at Genesis, so can't forget that. And that's the biggest event of the year so far. But the other stuff, it has to be Plup. It has to be.
5 and 6 are close. Or if we're talking about Mango Plup. Who would win? We're not going to answer these hypothetical. Okay, I'm going to read it and you can say skip. Who would win in PM? Mango, Armada, or Zero and MTK?
Skip.
Okay. If Mango and Leffen won DreamHack Austin teams, would they qualify for the Fuse doubles tournament?
I don't know, dude. Look at the point leaderboard. Skip.
Is Mango going to be in the Fuse doubles tournament?
I think so. He's entered a ton of events, so probably. Again, look at the leaderboard.
I feel like he's going to get drunk whether he wins or loses on Saturday night, and he may not wake up in time.
Mango says he has no points, so there you have it. Mango, teams. All right, I'm not having this discussion, but I yell at him about teams all the time.
Mango Bleh. Mango Pog. For CSGO.
Sam, you're his coach. Should I have to start yelling at you?
Dude, if he wins Evo, like he can do whatever he wants for Fuse. Like he could have the most points going into Fuse, take a piss on stream, and then double DQ himself, and I don't care.
I care.
You do care, but as his coach, if he wins Evo, I don't care. He can come with weed, blackjack, and hookers to Fuse, and shut down your stream and get you fired, and I don't care.
And now we know why Mango's been in a slump for the last 3 months. These are the values. What is this? Jack, are you listening to this, Jack? Come on.
Okay, fine.
Where'd you even get these ideas? Mango would never do any of those things.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't do. He would not do 2 of the 3 things I just mentioned.
Easily wouldn't do 2 of the 3 things you mentioned.
He'd play blackjack.
Play blackjack.
Yeah. So, yeah. For CSGO, it would be easy to monetize views. Charge $5 and give the viewer like 2 keys and 2 boxes to open. What could the equivalent be for the Smash community to
We do so much. If we actually went out for it and really thought about it, we would do so much. Great. Hey, if you are sub to VG Bootcamp's paywall for a year, you open up a new merchandising tier. There's only certain shirts that year-long subs can get. You get special emotes, you get like tons of rewards. Like you get automatically you're in the VIP of a ton of event spaces. You're given the VIP experience at a ton of event spaces. You're given a free sub to another Melee streamer of your choice. You're like there's a comical amount of things we could do if we went down that route, but we would lose our overall viewership. So I still, again, think it's a bad idea.
All right. What about paying to watch side streams? I'd be willing to pay to ensure I don't miss any matches of my favorite players, but would keep the free stream for growth. I mean, isn't that literally what Compendium Awards are for, like, those extra perks?
Yeah, but, like, again, I'm not sacrificing growth. I don't know about you guys. I'm not in the play. Even side stream, that viewership matters. I'm not in the spot where I'm trying to sacrifice growth. Screw that, man. Like, I really think we can crack this nut without sacrificing growth. I might be crazy and I might be wrong, but I really don't want to sacrifice growth.
But you're not a communist.
Yeah.
I wish you knew the reference that I just made.
I have no idea.
Okay. With all the recent tournaments, I'm skipping that. It's another Mario Sonic question. It helps stream and TO a smaller, isolated region. We have been streaming with professional equipment at regular times every week, but haven't seen an increase in viewership. What can we do to increase viewership and exposure for our isolated region in a weird time zone? Says Toggle.
I don't know what event you're talking about, and I don't know what it is.
He's a weekly streamer and TO in a small, isolated region.
Yeah, but what region and what's your? I never look at your stream. Let me see if your production is actually good, homie. Let me see that. So there's a few things there, right? Number one, your stream is probably really small, and I don't want to be the one to say it, but I'm going to say it. The struggle, the number one reason why your stream is small is because your channel is small, and you have to make your channel bigger in order to have your weekly stream be bigger, right? You don't have enough content and broadcast hours for someone to want to consistently follow your stream, right? So you're not pushing out enough content for people to want. If you look at the streams which have found success in the Melee community in terms of tournament streams, they're always the ones that push out the most broadcast hours, that consistently have content, that are able to push out, do more, right? Like BG Bootcamp, of course, the prime example. Showdown always has content. Team Oxy has content. Even still, we're not really doing a good job on this. For the most part, Smash is disparate. There's a lot of channels, and everyone does. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Now, if Smash moved into a system where it's more solidified, like for example, let's say Team Oxy went out there, or VG Bootcamp went out there, or Polarity went out there, and started buying content rights, right? So, for example, I go out there as Team Oxy and say, hey, isolated region, you have your stream, you have your small channel, your channel is doing nothing for you. You're going to have a very difficult time to grow your little baby channel into anything more because you're not getting the amount of content throughput to really be able to grow in any reasonable time frame, right? So I say, okay, I'll pay you X amount of dollars, or maybe you'll pay me X amount of dollars to use my channel for viewership, right? And then we build a brand together, right? That kind of partnership can be made. I want to see more of that stuff. I actually think, and I've been yelling at Gimmer about this for a long time, this is the stuff he should be doing more. And you were seeing it a little bit because you guys saw in Japan, Battle Gateway, AMSA's tournament, the tournament that AMSA helped stream for on VG Bootcamp, did really well. It was one of the best viewed Japanese events we've had. Why? Because it was on VG Bootcamp, right? Very important. And so they used VG Bootcamp's popularity to boost their smaller event. And there's so much opportunity for this, right? Like, if you're a content channel, like some of the bigger channels in Smash and tournament channels in Smash, of course you're going to take free content, right? Of course you're going to be like, hey, if you'll produce it for me and you'll pay for it to be on my channel, or if you just give it to me, or whatever the agreement is, or maybe I pay you, whatever the agreement is, of course I'll take it, right? As long as it's good, as long as it fits and is appropriate for my brand, right? Gamer made the judgment call that Battle Gateway was good enough to be on his channel, and it was the correct call. Some of the videos, if you look on his YouTube, have like 50K plus views. And on the channel itself, on Twitch, it did well too. So that was the correct call, right? And I think that's going to be on the content producers to make that call, right? If we go down that system. So I say that's one. One is you're probably trying to grow the wrong way. You're probably trying to grow your really small weekly channel that has one stream a week, that is going to grow in an extremely snail's pace, and not looking, okay, I need to grow this brand first. What do I need to grow? What's the brand I need to grow? It's not the brand of the channel. It's the brand of the tournament, right? The tournament series, and the brand of my players, and the brand of my local scene. I need to grow that. That's what my aim is. I'm trying to grow that, because then what can I do? If I ever want to take it away from being streamed on VG Bootcamp, I can, and put it on my own thing, and I at least have an audience that might be able to carry over, right? Rather than starting from scratch. So, you're also going to have to probably train up commentators. That's a big deal. People hate listening to bad commentary, so we're going to have to work on that. Hopefully you have decent enough players that's watchable.
Are you going to go for another minute? Because I'm going to get water.
Yeah, I think I will. Go get water, Tapo. I think that's the hallmark of a good commentator's curse. What was I saying? Yeah, Mango said, hey, people... he should be hosting more people's stream. Mango said people should pay me to host their stream. Instead, Mango, you should just host people's streams more often. How about that? Greed fuck. How about no? So yeah, look for promotion that way. Imagine how much better Smash's directory and viewership would be if instead if a lot of this stuff was consolidated down channel-wise. Mango says, I always host everyone. Do you host a lot of player streams, but you're not hosting tournaments. You're not hosting locals, man. Host the tournaments every once in a while. Stop hosting Shroomed. Don't watch stream sucks. Just host someone else.
Damn.
Mango does his job. He does okay. Look, of all people for me to give crap about trying to grow the scene, Mango's doing a good job. So
Mango carrying the stream.
Mango's carrying. He's doing all right.
He's a hard carry, man.
He's carrying the stream game. I'm not really his production right now. Mango's home stream production value right now is better than most tournament streams. I'm just gonna say it. It's embarrassing, right? Isn't it? Joshua, can Joshua be put on some tournament streams? Can we please get Joshua to be doing some production work on some tournament streams? Like, Joshua is killing it right now.
Mango's not going to give you the rights to Josh.
We're going to take Joshua, dude. Joshua has done too good of a job.
Isn't that the pseudonym of Scorpion Master?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's only fitting. So, yeah, like, first of all, most home streams need to step up their game on that. Like, why is Mango streams literally, in terms of production, like, so much better than these other guys? And they're not like Mango's the only one doing net play in widescreen. Like, do it in widescreen and put your camera on the side. It looks so much better. And do it in HD. How is Mango, this kid from Norwalk, have better, like... Have you ever talked to Mango about technical stuff and tech-savvy stuff? How is this guy destroying everybody?
Because he likes to give the impression that he's not a nerd, but deep inside he is a nerd. He just... How is he straight up destroying these guys in production? Like, what's going on? His stream... See, like, his stream is like his baby. If his baby were giving him dividends immediately.
All right. And he takes care of his baby, so...
Yeah. And his baby already pays him back tenfold.
Yeah.
They have a good reciprocal relationship.
So, okay, this is a different conversation topic, but home streams, Do widescreen when you do net play. When you do net play, tell us who your opponent is. Please. I really enjoy knowing that Mango is beating up on Sokka or beating up on Tafo. I like knowing who he's playing against. Streamers, tell me who you're playing against. It's not asking a lot, right? Like, how about that?
Dude, who's replacing Truby Knight on MVG?
I don't know. Music Stream's getting better. Is it? Why? What do you mean replacing?
Because Truby Knight left MVG like as of like 2 days ago.
Did he?
Yeah, there was like a post and everything on Twitter.
Why?
I don't know. They left on good terms.
Dude. All right. They need him.
They need him because if you just have Muta King, it just doesn't work.
Like, Jason doesn't. He was actually really important. I know people like, oh, I don't know, whatever, but dude, he's actually was really important for Muta King. Muta King should pay him. Is that what there must? I'm going to talk to people. I'm talking to people. I'm going to talk. It's official. I'm talking to people. Muta King needs Cherubi. He can hate it, but he loves him. Wait, Muta King left? What are you guys talking? What's?
No, they're saying how Muta King stream's actually fine without Truby Knight.
Is it?
I guess maybe. I haven't seen it since Truby Knight.
All right. You know what? I'll say. I'm gonna look into it, but that's a weird one. But point is, all these other streams start. If you see this video, which I know none of you fucking will, doing widescreen net play and make it look pretty. When you have people over, you're gonna play it on CRT.
Dude, we should ask some person in the chat to make a PSA graphic about streaming that play.
Dude, these people. If you're running sets with people, show us the score. Right? And by the way, run sets with people. Show us your rank on Smash Ladder, so we know how you're doing, right? And give us a goal. Come on. Also, everyone's emote sucks.
What was that?
We just need it.
Dude, we told Muta King since. Okay, does Muta King have the FD emote? That was Mango's idea. I think he made Muta King pay him $50 for that idea.
Oh, stop having your sub GIF cover the screen. That's a very important one. Mango, you had that problem for a while, but it's very important. Also, advice I give that Mango doesn't follow, but in general, stop with the music. Unless your music is honestly, like, the only things that really work is like top 40 or like extraordinarily popular music, like pretty much music that everyone.
Mango's music's like amazing.
Yeah, Mango's music is good because it's very like popular culture music. Like it's
Dude,
very common.
He has Brady Bunch.
Bro, if you're doing anime music, you're losing viewership. And I say that as someone who likes anime music sometimes, but some people don't. You're losing viewership if you're doing anime music.
Okay.
If you're doing like hard rock, or you're doing country, or you're doing whatever, like I don't even know what some of these kids listen to, you're losing viewers. Like, you're probably better off with no music.
Or
no music's
just playing
actually OP.
Smash rap songs.
Smash rap songs aren't bad, but like, no music is actually OP. If you actually look at every top streamer, pretty much it's no music. You know, Lyric doesn't do music. Freaking the only one that really does music occasionally is Rainad, and even he says it's a bad idea. Like, Summon 1G doesn't do music. Like, most of them don't do music because music usually turns more people off than not. Like, not everyone likes your taste in music.
Make this person stop talking.
Yeah. If you only play bangers like Mango does, like, which is like music that people generally like, that's the best thing you can do. But if you play music which like only like a small section of people like, it's gonna turn people off from watching it. And I know I like music that sometimes other people don't like. That's just how it is. You're not playing music for yourself. You're playing music for your people. And the common denominator doesn't like everything. Mango, you would actually I think you're fine with what you're doing, but I think many other streamers would do better with no music. People can absolutely be turned off. People can absolutely be turned off. Other thing for the big streamers out there they should be doing is when I ask you for front page, I'm giving you a gift. Blur's giving you a gift. If you're not filling out that front page, you're literally an idiot. Like I can't put it any other way, but it's like adding 5K to your stream for free for like 5 minutes of work of sending in one email. Like if I'm offering that and you don't take it, like you do more by sending that 5-minute email than through streaming for hours and hours. Like you do more to grow your stream there. And yet I have people out there who don't do that. Who don't answer when I say, "Hey man, I'd love to give you some promotion." Come on. Come on.
This is where Mike Ross would be like, please tell them.
Variety Mango is not going to get front page almost ever. Literally, I'm just going to say it. This is never going to happen.
Wait, why?
Because I'm trying to grow Smash Brothers.
So he has to talk to the Variety streamer partner representative then.
Yeah, you go talk to the Variety streamer partner representative. Get out of here, dude.
Poor thing.
Come on. Yeah, you grow Smash Brothers every day, and you're going to keep growing Smash Brothers, goddammit.
All right. What was it like during Mango's reign at the top? Did he seem unbeatable like Armada? He wasn't unbeatable. He had his stints with Music King, but you felt like he had the fifth gear that nobody had. That's the way I describe Mango's reign. He had that fifth gear that you felt. It's kind of like the Isaiah syndrome, right? Where you just believed and knew that, like, you had that sense, like, if Mango turned it on, like, he could win. Like, and he did. What are you guys doing in the chat?
I don't know. All right, next question.
Zero quit Smash 4 to focus on Melee. Would he become a top 15 player in a year? So roughly like Ice level.
No.
All right. When did you first realize Melee was next level greatness? When I first turned on Isaiah versus Ken most 4. Or most 3 game 4.
Ooh, is that when you first watched? Most is so sick.
I watched some other games. They weren't exciting until that. It was either that or watching Shine Blind.
Yeah.
Wait, why is Mango going to be in NorCal on Sunday?
He's doing the show, Scar Toph cross counter show. He's taping it.
Mango's literally I can't blame Mango because whatever he's advertising on my stream, technically I have to advertise too.
Where's my cut? I'm providing all this entertainment. Where's my cut? Has anyone ever thought about that?
I'll buy you a drink at DreamHack.
Give me a drink. Give me a fucking drink.
Hey Blur, if I were to show up at SSS with a Guitar Hero controller mod, would it be banned?
Yes. Next question.
Why can't top players just tweet out tournament streams? There's really not too much to ask.
Because they're lamos.
Before Levin's rise to the top, did anyone think he was capable of doing it?
No. That's how it works, kind of. Everyone doubts you until you do it.
All right, Ardent Rage is gonna buy you tacos. Dude, Blur, can we get
Ardent Rage, don't give me tacos. Give me a local in Memphis. Make the Memphis scene better. I've been telling you to do the same thing for months, and you're not giving me the one thing I'm asking for you. Jeez. Do something for Memphis. Do something for me.
Dude, Blur, can we go get barbecue on one of the weekends? Or on the nights?
Barbecue? Yeah, that sounds good, dude. I love Austin.
Dude, I want to try Texas barbecue, so I'm excited. Alex 19 lost to SFET's Marth today. We need Blur at more tourneys for Marth practice.
Whoa! Art and Rage is saying that there's was a 100-man local in Memphis. All right, let's talk about DreamHack, dude. We're talking to DreamHack. I don't believe you. Wait, more Blur tournaments? Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. Good save it.
I'm not even going to read the last question.
Okay. Then don't read it.
Blur, when are we talking business on the Tuesday tourney? I'm thinking we have 2 streams, one for Melee and one for Fun Day shit.
Yo, Mango, real talk? Why don't we just do Fun Day at Esports Arena? Like, I know they're going to start selling liquor there soon. Like, it could be like a big communal thing. Like, Fun Day could be like a big thing.
I could see that being really...
We could have it as a big party. We could have like a party every Tuesday. It could be like a Foundry level type thing. And it'd be called Fun Day. It'd be so sick.
It'd be better than Foundry. It'd be way better than Foundry.
It'd be super cool. And then we have like the Mango Friends and like Super Homie Edition on Mango Stream, and we have like the tournament stuff on the Oxy Stream. That's like perfect.
And if you get 4 stocked, you're banned for a week.
The only problem is, as everyone's saying, that's so good. The Foundry's on Tuesdays too. They're gonna get fucked.
They don't even go every week anymore.
Like our TMTs are already getting like 2.5K views, like with like no one going. Like it's already beating it in viewership. If we do this, it's like I want Foundry to be good. So I don't know.
Dude,
maybe I can move the Melee Foundry to Thursday because instead.
They don't even do it every week, Blur.
They don't.
What do we do when Blur's not doing it, or whatever the venue is called?
What's not doing it? Foundry's not doing it.
Foundry doesn't go every week, right? They go like every other week.
No,
they go weekly now. I remember for a while they like stopped for whatever reason. Yeah. Okay, I'm wrong. Destiny Fan 21 getting really mad at me. He wrote in all caps.
Yeah. Our Rage just linked me a 59 entrant. Local. Oh wait. Excuse me. That's just Melee singles. 93 entrant. Memphis local. Arden Rage. Did you host this? Were you the head TO here? Let me go to the tournament admins page. You know what I don't see? Arden Rage, the man I assigned to grow Memphis Smash Brothers on the tournament admins. So, it's pretty cool. But, looks like my boy Desno and Mistech. Maybe I should be talking to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The movers and shakers of the Memphis scene.
Blur Daddy is pleased.
But that is pretty good. I'm happy about that.
Blur Daddy is pleased.
But that, by the way, that would be fire if we actually did that. Like a full-on bar in esports arena with Fun Day as a stream. Plus, we have the tournament stream on TMT with everyone playing and everyone having fucking a ball. This shit's crazy. That'd be crazy. Everyone love it.
I feel like it would be good, but I feel like my inner older brother parent responsible mind would be like, I feel like this is also not a good idea too.
Nah, dude, this is a great idea. Think I said he's gonna throw in a $200 pop bonus? Ooh.
I mean, it's gonna do well, but from a safety standpoint,
of course it'll do well. It'll be like the biggest thing. Obviously, dude. When you combine Blur and Mango, it's actually like 2 OP.
I wonder if Mango did his taxes. I hope he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Because, you know what I realized? So I want to come to the Tuesday trainings, but I realized that it doesn't end till 1.
No, it hasn't. It literally is ended at 11:30 every time.
Or 11:30.
What? Yeah,
I'd have
it's
to
it's a weekday tournament. Every weekday tournament ends around that time.
yeah. It's
It's not
painful
like
though.
the normal. Like,
Is that Web Smash? Is that
Webs? I haven't
Webs?
seen Webs forever. Does Webs exist still?
I don't know.
Can someone please confirm to me that Webs exist still? Because to me, it seems pretty irrelevant right now. Webs, where have you been? Come on, Webs. Come on, Webs.
Ooh, this Web's got sassy. I bet he has the mustache too right now. Is this the real Webs? I don't believe it. This Web has sass.
All right, next question.
That was it.
Oh, wow. This is a long show, by the way. We did
You
4
do
hours.
realize we're at like 11:20 right now, right?
Yeah. My family's in town. I should go see them.
You should.
They flew in at like 9:30, and I went 2 hours too long. My sister's bitching me out on text right now. I feel bad.
Damn.
What was your question? We're gonna finish with a Webb's question.
Is there too much oversaturation? Webs, we actually talked about this for like a good half hour.
Thanks, Webbs. The answer is, if you want to hear the answer, just a real quick summary is no, there's not oversaturation. That is a big myth. What we actually need is the better brands to step up and to exist again. And we need to tier our tournaments properly. We need people to understand and know what's a major, what's a premier, what's a regional, what's a local. And once we do that, oversaturation reduces as a problem. And I don't really think it's a problem right now, honestly. We're fine.
Yeah, especially in the past 4 months, we could have definitely used more events.
Yeah.
All right, who are we going to?
Toggle Singh says, how do local streams work on their commentary? Dude, I don't know. That's hard. Sorry, this stream's been going on for 4 hours. Toggle, I would love to answer you, but we get that question a lot.
How do you work on your commentary? Dude. Tell your commentators to go to like one hosting or camera or improv class. I'll tell you, it helps so much.
Also, the honest answer is if you can find a way to make a community fun for some of your casters, like getting them to be consistent and going to events is huge. Like we've actually legitimately been thinking of like giving a small sponsorship to like Vic Ramen or like Raptor, one of those guys. Don't tell them I said this because we haven't been thinking about it. Just so they can go to more events and work on their craft. And also constantly giving them feedback because getting a real caster to give them feedback. Like as a TO, you're gonna give terrible feedback. Get a good caster to watch their VODs and give them feedback. Things like that. Anyway.
All right, who are we hosting?
I don't know. What's our options?
We have Alex19.
No, that's not him.
Santiago.
Ooh, Santi.
Mike Hayes.
Ooh, Mike Hayes.
Drift AI and Bizarro Flame aren't even streaming Melee.